Syphilis. Okay. So I had a fan write in and call me out on the Jay and Jack board and basically said, when Nick does not have a song, it just kind of like ruins my week. So, you got to brighten me up. So originally I had like a sad song, that kind of was going to change the lyrics to and everything. But
like
I heard
the Long and Winding Road.
Yeah, exactly. Just something like just to really bring the show down, and then fizzle out altogether. So after hearing this song a billion times over the last day, I was like, I'll do this song. Why not? Jack joined us. All right. Sorry, I've already chugged the beer, so I've got a little belching a little bit. Two of us riding nowhere, spending someone's hard-earned pay. You and me Sunday driving, not arriving on our way back home. We're on our way home. We're on our way home. We're going home. 2, 3, 4. You and I have memories longer than the road that stretches out ahead.
Ticket bill.
Yeah.
Woo! That was my favorite.
Nicely done.
I've always loved that song.
It was probably your best one yet.
Yeah,
I would think so, yeah.
But you can't do math. There's 4 of us here tonight.
I know. I started actually before Jack joined. I said maybe I should sing 3 of us riding together, like 3 or 4 of us riding together.
I could have joined late. I could have said, "Hey,
Jack, I like your background tonight."
Thank you.
I
found it on the net somewhere.
Solidarity.
You did a lot of work on that, Jack. That looks great. I mean,
sometimes I see Matt copied me.
I know.
Yeah, well, like minds follow greatness. So
yeah. I saw it. I said, that's probably Matt's best.
Oh, well, this is episode 150.
A Stanley Kubrick production.
If you've made it this far in the RCAD, congratulations.
Yeah, we apologize.
For
Sincerely sorry.
I mean, to me, it just feels like a little bit of a ripoff because it's really not 150, but
because it's 150 since we changed the name.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We're probably pushing more like 200, right?
At least. So this is not the combined. This is not the combined.
It's just RCAD.
This is just RCAD.
So it's not. So it's not Married Man. It's not Ramblecast. It's Ramblecast After Dark.
So it's not when we were doing the Married Man show. Then we said, "Hey, this is not working. Let's change the name."
Yeah, so 150 is probably like 2 years worth of shows, not
5.
Yeah.
I think you've explained this before, Matt. It's now clicking.
It's probably Nick. He's more of the historian of the group.
It's true.
Someone's explained because I've lived this before, or it's deja vu.
It really, because you guys have known me long enough to know how my brain works, and it's really hard for me when I go on the little trips that I do, like this past week, when I'm around a lot of historical sites and I hear people saying the wrong shit, and it's like every bit of me not to go like, okay, just let it go, just let it go.
This was Custer's second stand.
Yeah, he actually made it 10 feet over there before the death blow.
You have some nice photos, though. I got to tell you that. I was jealous.
I appreciate it. Yeah, like I love taking photos, and it's always hard for me to select which ones I want to put up. And then the things that always surprise me is the ones I get the most likes on are the ones that I don't think people are going to care about. And I'm like, it's like I got like 30 likes of a picture of a cow. I'm like, why do people like the picture of the cow? Like it doesn't.
Because we're all driving by going moo.
I like the picture of you, but
yeah,
was it actually you?
Which one?
Can you see me in this picture? And it's like a small figure of a person, and like
that was me. If you stop me, I'm in the far left side of that photo. Yeah. So that's cool. Like I told one of y'all wasn't here. Maybe you. I don't know. Maybe it was Jack. But yeah, like so in the last episode, I was talking about I bought a drone, and so that's a lot of those photos I got with those drones.
Yes, nice.
And so that's why I said
so you're scaring the shit out of the wildlife.
Well, you have to be choosy where you fly those things. But where I was in the desert, there is no wildlife. I did actually see a fox though run right next to my truck. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?"
What did it say?
Nick was the wildlife.
Yeah, I was the wildlife. What are we coming to?
So has it been a couple of weeks? It's been 1 week. I can't remember.
It's been
It's
one
been a
week.
couple weeks for sure. Solid.
All right. Yeah, we had Thanksgiving and shit last week.
Yeah, that was
We
awesome.
skipped at least 1 week.
I think I've been gone for 2.
Well, we had the two-parter. We basically had
that's
episode
right.
149, and then we had the bonus for those that are on
That's
the Patreon.
it.
It was kind of
I
like
joined the bonus late.
Yeah,
That's
and Jay,
true.
and Jay did it. So for everyone out there who is not a patron, last week's or week before last bonus episode is a reason enough alone for you to become a patron, because that episode was 10 times better than our regular show.
It was supersized.
It was,
It was.
it was a nice. It was, we had 5 hosts and we were just talking up a hoot.
Yeah, we kind of made. Oh, I made fun of Jay.
No, you didn't. I got a good sense of humor.
So Nick, I know you've watched the Beatles documentary Get Back. Do you think Jay is trying to become Paul McCartney?
He's always been Paul McCartney.
Oh, okay, because he's got the beard for it now.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's got
and
that,
the hair is slicked
Mhm.
back. It's kind of falls to the sides. He
I-
just needs to
I
grow a little bit
I
more.
think he's missing an opportunity, maybe.
I
for-
thought you meant more because he's a controlling, egotistic asshole.
Jesus! Wow. Episode 150. Nick finally let us know what he thinks
let's
of
be
Jay.
fair. Nick's not wrong.
I'm kidding. I'd never say that about Jay.
Not true.
Well, he was here.
But that is the episode show title, so we'll just see.
I don't think
Egotistical
censors
assholes.
allow that one, but
They'll be like, is he talking about one of the Beatles or
or is it Jay?
one of the hosts?
I mean,
So I've heard a lot.
I thought he was trying to be Yoko.
yeah,
I've heard a lot about this series, and I have not yet seen it. But
Well,
but let's just jump right into it. So what do you guys think of the series?
it drove me crazy
Love
because
it.
it was released. When was it released? Saturday?
It
Or
was released
Friday?
on Thanksgiving, and they
On
released
Thanksgiving
it
Day.
on 3 parts. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it
and
was
I-
like they released part 1, part 2, and then part 3.
And it,
How long?
as
How long was each episode? About 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours each. Yeah, it takes you a little
Yeah,
while.
Wow.
I'm about halfway through the first one. I had to stop because my grandkids were driving me crazy.
Oh, okay. But as you guys know, I was on the road,
And-
so I didn't have access
and Yoko.
to watch it. And so I already had like 5 people going like, "Oh my god, have you seen it?" Because I'm a huge Beatle guy, and I was
Yeah.
like, "No," I was like, "I'm just gonna knock it out on Tuesday." And sure enough, that's what I did. Because I had today off as well, and so I basically, as soon as I got up, I just watched it straight through.
Wow.
Okay, am I the only one? And I'm not trying to be a dick here. Am I the only one that kept saying, "Why is Yoko sitting there? Why is Yoko sitting there?
Young
Why is she there?
Lesbians.
Why is she there? Why is she there?"
Have you gotten to the part where Paul even talks about it?
I think it's
No,
the
not
very
yet,
beginning
no.
of the
No,
second
you
part.
need to
Yeah.
get to that part. It's
Okay.
I think the way
Well,
they
go ahead
pieced
and
it,
spoil me.
the way they pieced it together, the way Peter Jackson directed this and put it together, I think he did a phenomenal job of basically taking all of this footage and condensing it down into something that is
Is
at
it just
least
one
halfway-
long episode of all the Beatles just endlessly walking across England?
No, so he breaks it down because it's basically a whole month they recorded.
Jack, that
Get
was the
Back.
Lord of
Yeah, I
Lord of the
know.
Rings
I know.
joke. Jack
I was
did that.
actually going to say just wait till the extended cut comes out.
They throw
Ah.
yeah. They
The 18-hour long Get Back.
they throw Mick Jagger into the Saurons.
It is
pit of
fun
fire.
watching their minds work as they're talking about different.
It is
songs and-
really fascinating to watch them
Well,
creatively work.
But did Ringo look bored a lot of the times?
Well, there's some
He's-
songs
I mean,
that
he's-
don't
he-
require drumming.
Yeah.
Well, I know
He's
he's
anxious.
he's sitting up in the top there. Is that going?
Well, I think because he.
I think what he was thinking. Why is Yoko sitting there? Why am I up here and Yoko's down there?
I really think you need to get to the part where Paul talks about it, because the
Go
way
ahead,
Paul
go ahead and spoil me. I'm still
no,
gonna watch it.
I don't want to spoil anybody on it. I want them to
I want you to spoil me, is what I'm saying.
I agree though, Matt. Like the way it's cut together, it really you get a feeling of what it's like to be in a working band. You see the struggles, especially in the first part in the Twickenham studios, and
the environment and how
and
the
the environment,
environment influences it.
Yeah.
The first part, I will just say that John is definitely on heroin,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
and if
That-
he is so distant in that first part. Each part has its own feel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
and the way that they play, because there's the way Peter Jackson edited it together so that he is explaining a story by you observing what is happening between the members, and ever so often he'll put in text or he'll let you know kind of like what's happening off screen. So the one, and I know a lot. I know Nick is the same way. We probably both have heard a lot of these bootlegs beforehand, or even some of the anthology cuts.
Yeah.
So there are certain songs when they're playing, I'm like, I know this. Oh, this is this part. And seeing their visual reaction as far as a Beatle fan and something that you've listened to 1,000 times, and seeing them actually performing it in that moment, I love it. It's
And what I think, and
it's
I think
long.
Nick, you talked about this back when I first heard about it. I think it was Nick. You were talking about is the quality of the film. It's so good. I mean, it's just as far as how it looks. It doesn't look like it's filmed in the '60s. It looks like it's filmed
they
today.
used a filter.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because I've been watching Seinfeld on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, God, it's the quality of this is not that good. But here you watch this, I go, God damn, that quality's good.
Yeah.
Anyway. And even they talk about that, I think, later in part two, how it was originally shot in 16 millimeter film because it was originally supposed to be for TV. And then they're like, well, and then someone speaks up and says, don't worry, it's a very good quality 16 millimeter, so we can stretch it out to 35, and make it better.
Okay.
But
I almost hate the director. Like there are certain people that you begin to like.
Yoko?
Stop! No, oddly enough,
she's not the director.
I was going to get to that.
But oddly enough, like she has her own part to play in it, and she has her own part to play in certain things that happen. But there are moments though where the director and them pushing for certain things creatively from the Beatles, you're just like, just shut the fuck up and get out of the way and let them play, get back, okay?
Right.
Like just let them. Like, stop bugging them with this, like, fucking plans for a show, because you know that it's not going to go. And I think as a fan, you're watching it, like, knowing
Well, you think the director's under pressure because he's
okay. For sure. Like, they basically.
This is probably his shot. I mean, who's the director? I mean, did he do anything else?
Lindsay Hogg. What's his first name? I always forget. Michael Lindsay Hogg.
Michael. Yeah.
So, like I think the Beatles. Like
From
Paul
Breakfast
does it.
Club?
I think Paul sums it up perfectly in the first part, in that they were a ship without a captain, and they're searching for anyone that can kind of give them a new idea or a great idea. And you look at the people who they're surrounding themselves with, either they're yes men or they're people that are so far out there or so inexperienced or weird that it really doesn't help them. It hinders them, because you look at like
Magic
Alex.
Alex.
And like I wrote, and then you look at Alan Klein, who would come on.
Oh my God! When they start mentioning Alan Klein, I'm like, fucking, that's Sauron. Walk away. You are headed towards Mount Doom, dude. Like, and the way Lennon describes him, you're like, it's so. He's
infatuated.
Creepy.
He bought him hook, line. But Lennon, even though Lennon was a genius when it comes to creativity, he was really a sucker. Because like, you can look at Yoko. I think Yoko manipulated him all the way to his death. And but she also saved his life too, because she cut him off heroin.
Yeah,
so it's like one of those like,
right.
But yeah, like I'm not even a fan of Glenn.
You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn Johns is a talented engineer, but as a producer, I always thought he was shit, because he always just kind of just hit record, and then he would just put on his signature echo, and that's all he would do.
That's all you really hear from his work. From his
work. Yeah, he would just put on an echo. And like, so if you get the Let It Be deluxe box set that came out like a month or two ago, and you listen to the Glenn Johns version of Let It Be, it is just saturated in echo, and it sounds
that
garbage.
long and winding the Long and Winding Road and Let It Be both are just too echoey with his sound. And maybe if he spent less time on those fucking fur coats,
and those glasses,
Jesus, like, I love the style, I love everything about
it. Did he have like a bright yellow one? Is that the guy you're talking about?
He's wearing the white
fur.
The white fluffy one, and then he has these huge like purplish blue.
He's wearing it more
glasses.
in the Apple sessions. So sorry, this is spoilers for where you're headed, but I know that some of the fans have complained about it being long, but fucking all, man. Like, go watch 20 hours of Ken Burns Vietnam and tell me that this is not. You wouldn't want another hour with the Beatles. This is all you get.
Because to me, like, it depends on what your level of fandom is, though. Like, to me, it's perfect. But like, I know there's people out there who are just casual listeners who don't know half the songs on Let It Be. They're like, "What is this shit?" But
it's me.
Yeah.
But like, check this out though. So Michael Lindsay Hogg, director, right? So I just looked him up really quickly. He's done a ton of shit, like lots of music videos for the Beatles, Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And it's rumored that he's actually the son of Orson Welles.
Oh,
I could see it.
So it's not confirmed.
Well, it doesn't mean he has the same talent, though.
But it looks like it's
skips a generation.
It's all but confirmed that DNA test was inconclusive, but his mother's close friend, actress Gloria Vanderbilt, confirmed to Lindsay Hogg that Wells was indeed
Isn't that
father?
Anderson Cooper's mom? Isn't it?
I could see it in his facial frame too. So,
but going back to what you were saying, Matt, about Lennon being on heroin, especially on the first part,
nice,
it's like that's how you knew like this was a Disney production, and that they really glossed over that Yoko had a miscarriage. Lennon was completely strung out on heroin. So all the negative things that were brought into those sessions.
Yeah, but they still included 2 monkeys fucking. So, in the grand scheme of things,
was it
it all
Davey
evens
and
out.
Peter?
What?
David.
I got you. Jack.
Yeah.
The monkeys were very influential on the Beatles.
No, well, it was film footage from India, so it could have been.
I'll meet you at the station.
Yeah, there was another point that I was going to make about.
I'm sorry. And no, I don't judge it because Peter Jackson's the director. I mean, just because I didn't care for Lord of the Rings.
Well, he's kind of like the redirector, like if you want to, but
yeah. I was thinking about this because the Beatles are basically under the microscope the entire time, and it's like a petri dish. You can see it smashing down and creating pressure amongst them, right? And thinking about this from 50 years forward now and looking back, it's like they basically were doing the first reality TV show, and they didn't know it.
Yeah, that's kind of like because I'm sure Matt, you did, because Jack's only on one part right now, but like the whole time, especially in the first part, like going back to what you're talking about, how with Lindsay Hogg, that's right, yeah, like his ideas are so mind-numbingly dumb that you want to strangle him, and it's like, oh, do it in front of the children, do it for charity, do it. And it's like, shut up,
right?
Like, do what in front of the children?
The show.
The show is,
okay.
He's constantly
I thought we were going back to the 2 monkeys.
And he's like, oh, I'm such a fan, and I just think that you're fans want to see you perform and all, and you're just like, shut up.
It's got to be hard. I'm gonna give him. It's got to be hard for him to come at that point where the Beatles are at, right?
It is, but like it's because one, like I said, like
you're
Paul
making excuses for this person, but you're just
like Paul says, like they're
because I blame her for breaking up the band.
They don't have a cohesive idea. Like they don't really know what they want to do with this, and that's what really hurts them, especially in the first part.
Paul has a vision, and Paul is trying to direct that ship. But you see John basically like, okay, he's kind of in Yoko land under heroin, right? Yeah. So he has nothing to bring to the table. And meanwhile, you have George over here in the corner who's just like pleading with them, like, I've got stuff to give. And then you get this horrible interaction where basically it's the worst baking ingredients, where you have George feeling left out because he does have a creative vision. And if Paul would have just turned to George
and he was,
and actually they could have united, but Paul still had his own vision. He still had his thing, and you can see it. There's a certain moment in part 3 where it's all falling on Paul, and he's just like really pensive, quiet, and he's just thinking, and I love it. It's weird that I enjoy watching the wheels turning, but I don't know. I sympathize with that moment where you're fraught with all of these decisions, and everybody's, and he's just staring like, what do I do now?
Yeah, there's a lot of really good moments if you're paying attention in the series of like true humanity, like true like in the moment things, but like going to George, like that's what like I felt it wasn't, because it's hard, just to see like a few minutes of a clip or a few seconds of a clip to really understand what George is feeling in that moment. And Paul and John both recognize it in a secret recorded that's played on the thing.
Yes, the secret recording is awesome.
But it's like, so like George, like I said, like this whole thing was, the White Album had only been out a month, and so they all showed up. A lot of them had just pieces of music. None of them had like really complete songs. And you see George kind of going through a bit of an insecure moment because you have Paul like proposing a song or John proposing a song, and they're just kind of hashing it out. And then they're looking to George to be like, like, do it like this. And he's like, he's basically saying, I can't read your fucking mind. I don't know what you want of this. And he's getting it from two great songwriters. And he's been doing this for over 10 years,
Plus he was a lot younger than them, right? He's
2 years younger. Yeah. And, well, he's born in 43. Paul's born in 42. And John and Ringo both born in 40.
Okay.
And you see that's why he quits. He's basically like, one, he's not being appreciated, and he's basically being forced to, he's giving them ideas and they're shooting them down. So he's like, you know what?
Yeah.
If you don't want my ideas, you just need to go home and figure this out. And then I'll play how you want me to play once you figure it out, because I'm not doing your job for you. And but like, in the first part, especially like the favorite part to me is watching Paul come up with Get Back, like in the moment. I've never seen someone do that. Just literally just sitting there, just strumming. And then you see
that's in the first episode, right?
The first episode. Yeah. And you see George and Ringo both just kind of looking at him like, what's he doing? Cause it just sounds like this weird, just,
but you can hear it. You can hear it.
You hear the bone, you hear the bones of it. Yeah. And then just slowly over the next few minutes, you hear him just kind of just, get back. And he has no lyric, and then he just starts coming up with it slow, and you're like, oh my God, it's just pure genius.
And the fact that it was a protest, the fact that it was a protest song and started off as that. I mean, I had heard the Digno Pakistani song. I had heard that.
I'd heard that one too.
And Commonwealth. I had heard those. Seeing them performed live was just really cool.
Right.
And really interesting that by the time you get to the third part and seeing. By the way, for those kids out there that don't know what newspapers are, this is a documentary that shows people fucking reading newspapers all the goddamn time. It's so funny. Like you see them like legit, like in multiple scenes. Like they've got the paper out, they're reading stuff, they're looking up stuff to buy.
It is weird because you watch an old TV show and you go, oh, I remember I used to do that.
Yeah.
Read the paper.
Well, I hope we didn't gush about it too much. I knew you and I would both really jump in on it.
I'm not done
yet. You're not done yet?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things I wanted to
No, I mean, like, that's fine.
Why are you Georging him? Why are you Georging him, Matt? Come on.
No, it's like, and then like even in the third part, there's I think it's in the third part, like just going back to George. I love how like selfless or unselfish George is. He always was, and everyone loved Ringo. And like you see Ringo come in and just like basically pound out a few chords of Octopus's Garden, and all he has is like a little bit.
I love that part.
And then George just walks over with his guitar and like he goes, "Okay, we need to connect it with this." And George never asked for any kind of credit or anything because he did it with several of Ringo's songs. Like he basically wrote them for Ringo and then just gave Ringo the credit for it. But you see basically George just in a second go like, because at that point Ringo had was, I want to be under the sea in an octopus, but he didn't have the I'd ask my friends to, and then you see George kind of come up with that like he used to come up to connect them, and you're like, wow, like, and then but that's what I mean, and the whole time you're thinking like, and the whole time John and Paul don't really acknowledge him. They don't they don't make room for this guy to help them. He's just like, oh,
is there just too many egos in the room? I mean,
yeah, there is.
You can see why bands fall apart. Because you got all those egos and.
Yeah, I mean, the most successful bands are usually one guy with one vision, and everyone else is following that person. Yeah. But if that one guy gets his ego too big, then they leave. But like when you have multiple writers, it's very hard. The only band I can even think of that had multiple writers that was success was Queen.
But you also see moments in which they all share in the songwriting and the moments of like I'm reminded of this moment where they're playing a song and they get to the end and John jokingly says like it's basically he's singing that he's bored with this song let's play Get Back. And it's like, it's almost jovial. He's like, let's play the Get Back one, you know, because it's like, that's fun, that's upbeat. He wants to go. And to think of him,
that Lovers Lament crap.
To think of him as someone who's like part of the Beatles, and it's not a rivalry where he's just like, oh, I don't want to play Paul's song, like fuck Paul. It's like, no, this is the fun song. Let's play the fun song. And he's willing to call Paul out when Long and Winding Road is just like, this brought us down, man. It's like, it's kind of
well, there's a lot of, like, you really need, in some situations you need to be like just a Beatle fanatic to get some of the things. And like John said once in an interview, you know, only I can knock the Beatles. Don't you dare knock, you know, like, and like there's 2 or 3 situations in the documentary where someone comes over the PA and says something critical. Like one of them is like, I think Lynn John says something to Ringo, like, do you have a damper on your drum? And like John just goes, yeah, you're the only damper in this room. like he's basically, don't shit on Ringo, fuck you. And then like later on, there's something else where someone pipes in and like both Paul and John at the same time go like, hey, we're fucking rock gods, like, like fuck you, like, and it's
they are.
Yeah, but it's
well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe
but they're also human too, because there's a moment where like John says something like, you know, they're trying to get this whole show underway, and John says something like, oh, why don't we just get them to give us the boat for the promotion? And then George pipes in, he's like, Fender won't even give us an amp for free.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like they're the fucking Beatles, and you can't even get a guitar company to give you an amp. You know, so
times have changed.
Going back to a point you said, you know, like, and I kind of started to say earlier, like the whole time you're watching this, because they don't have an idea of what they want to do with this. I thought of, you know, 2 or 3 ideas while I'm watching, like this, like, how can you not think of a good idea? But like you said, like Matt said, like this is kind of like the beginning of someone doing like a MTV Unplugged type situation.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. I was immediately thinking, you know, Nirvana's MTV Unplugged. Like, why can't they just sit around with a very small audience and play some of their classic songs in a different way entirely? I mean, that would have been so great.
I loved the Love Me Do versions that were like really, you know, it was in that Let It Be style. It was in the One After 909 style. I kind of wish that they would have just thrown that on Let It Be, you know? So
do you think if they had it by today, if they had filled it by the way, like saying today, it'd be more fake? More of a stage
I think they were aware of the cameras on them, and it was. I mean, we're
after 60,
actually more
I think after you said there's 60 hours of film.
Yeah, 60 hours of film.
I think after a while you kind of forget the cameras are there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how comfortable
you
they
do,
are,
and yet they ham it up
later on.
But I'm saying, but most reality shows now are scripted.
Yeah,
they're not true reality shows.
One song that was not featured, and I feel like it's going to get buried. It's just one of those songs. Maybe to your point, Nick, you know, the Disneyfication of it. I think it goes back to the fact that the Beatles, and specifically Lennon's estate, would not want this out there. But the Chasing Rainbows song is the ever elusive. It will never be released. I've only heard it on a bootleg.
I've got a bootleg.
It's a John Lennon song. It's very rocking with the piano. It's very fun. He sings, instead of watching rainbows, I'm gonna chase some, or I'm gonna get some, or something like that. It's about chasing rainbows. And then it goes into this moment where he basically gets the shoot me part for Come Together, and he sings Shoot Me several times, right? So he's talking about heroin. And
same as like
but it also goes to the fact of like, okay, he's someone that was shot. Like, you don't want to give some attorney a reason to get Mark David Chapman out just because it's on some Beatles song somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I don't know, but it's just, unfortunately, I kept thinking it was going to be released on an anthology or a deep, you know, but we're just not going to get it.
There's still several, like Pink Limnus Test, and there's a couple of other songs that are still not out that they recorded.
Just holding on to them.
Well, I think it's because they're so far out there that they're like, it's not really Beatles. You know, it's like, because I know that like Paul always says, like, one of his favorite tracks is You Know My Name, Look Up the Number, because it's so weird.
Yeah.
But it does sound like the Beatles, but it doesn't sound like the Beatles. You know.
But here you have a song, they released a Billy Preston sung Beatles song. It's in the lexicon now. It's like you got a Beatles song, Billy Preston singing, sounds like a soul. It doesn't sound like the Beatles at all. Like if you listen to it, you're like, "Whoa, hey, this is cool." This is different. I just wish some of the little ditties that were in the movie, they had a super expanded expansion.
That's what I was hoping for too, because my first idea was kind of like an MTV Unplugged idea. It's like if I was doing it, I'd do something like that, and like I'd almost want it to be to start out pitch black, and then you hear just the opening chord of Hard Day's Night, just jing in solid dark, and then all of a sudden you just hear like the Ringo solo, just and then straight into Get Back, and then like just like, it could have been so cool, and then just like the lights flick on, like people are like, yeah, like how awesome. And then I thought like, well, what if you want to do like a history of the Beatles type thing? Because there was like you have songs like One After 909, like what if you'd have started off and done a few acoustic numbers in like Strawberry Fields or somewhere, and then you went to the Cavern Club. And then like just played One After 109 and played some other, and then you did the rooftop session with all the new material. Like you could have done it so many different ways. And it's just like, why didn't they think of some of this stuff, or why wasn't it ever proposed?
And then there's that fucking timeline of Ringo having to go off and make a movie. And I'm like, this movie is bullshit, Ringo. This album is more important than your fucking movie. Sorry, that's my only
he did want a movie career.
Yeah.
So did Art Garfunkel.
Well, how'd that work out for him?
Yeah, exactly.
Washing machines work really hard.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Like, we were talking about Glenn Johns. So like, I guess the only because I don't want to spoil too much for people. But like, there's the other like moment that I really loved in part 3 was the rooftop. Because you see it happening, but you still have to look to really notice it. Is that Mal, who's always been the unsung hero of the Beatles? He was the roadie. He was the guy that did everything for them. Just a super nice guy. Well, the cops, came up to the roof to tell them they couldn't play anymore, and Mal like is trying to be, I guess, like the in between guy. So he walks over after they played several songs, and he just turns off George's amp. In the middle of Get Back. And then you see like George turn like, what the fuck, man? Like, and then George just walks over, turns the amp back on, they just keep playing. And it's just one of those things that you just love because you don't notice it unless you notice it. Like that's actually what happened. And you're just like, don't kill the music, man. What the hell? But it's a good series. And you definitely that's one Yoko, because the whole time you always think like, oh, she was like a cancer during these sessions, and really, like they really downplayed her. And I don't know if it's maybe Yoko kind of had a hand in that, saying like, don't put that footage in here, don't do that. But you don't know. But like for the most part, she just sits.
I think Peter Jackson probably had full creative control. So, I would imagine there might have been a few things that like Paul was like, you can't have this in there, or I could see Ringo or one of the estates saying like, you can't have anything like this. But other than that, it doesn't seem like he held back. I mean, he included the fucking monkeys, so which he didn't need to, but it was funny when it happens, and hopefully everybody watches this so they can see monkeys.
One other point I wanted to make before we move on. Because I'm sure some people are like, I don't want to talk about, but for the whole hour.
We've lost Eric.
So Jack, when you get to part 2, when Billy Preston is introduced, it's like in The Wizard of Oz when it goes from black and white to color. It's like, it's just that kind of moment to where it's like the negativity of the first episode or the first part, and then when you see another member of the band come in and like add the vibe. It's just like it just changes, and you're just like, wow, and that's when it really gets going. Of like, okay, now we got something cooking, and it's a good moment.
I can't wait.
Really,
I can't wait to the second episode to find out what Yoko does.
Well, you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
Well, I think the third episode specifically, if you just watch the first part, it's really great. There's a really awesome moment with Linda McCartney's daughter, Heather.
Yeah.
And it's really cute. Like when she's in that, like at first I was like, what's that kid doing in here? And there's that parent part, Chris, that you'll definitely be like, wait, is this kid okay? Wait, okay, this kid's cool. Hey, that kid better not be fucking up that amp. Okay, this kid's cool. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's just the parent in me watching it, you know, like making sure that the kid's okay. Like, I don't know, but it's really funny though. And her interaction with Yoko is awesome.
Did the kid get to see the fucking monkeys?
No,
that's not shown to the kid.
Well, and then also what Lennon says, because Yoko's doing her screaming or primal screaming, and then so Heather imitates it, and then John just looks at her, like, Yoko,
and then he's like, yes, like seeing him react, or the Beatles react to it's so. We have talked a while about this. I'm going to go ahead and give us just like a commercial break to just cleanse that Beatle palate, So when we come back, no Beatles ever again, forever.
Till next week.
I don't think I need to watch it now.
No, you need to watch it. Because, like I said, there's some really neat moments in it.
We weren't going to talk about it anymore.
I know.
No, you guys.
You know what show?
The show
I started watching.
Oh
no, not you, Siri. I don't know why you're looking at me, Siri. Stop.
It's now coming on.
Siri, clear cache. No, so I started watching a show that just recently premiered on Amazon Prime. That I've been anticipating because a friend of mine is so completely fucking has like a hard on for the book series Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time,
yeah. So a good friend of mine is like he's been trying to get me to read or / listen to the books.
14 books,
dude. It's a ton of fucking books. It's ridiculous. If you thought Peter Jackson had long movies, like this series is. Dude, the author died and didn't finish it and had to fucking like pass it on to like his #1 fan to finish the story. Yeah. But he swears by it.
He did that before he died, right?
He wrote the guy wrote outlines of what the story would do, and then they filled in the spaces.
Yeah. So my buddy is just completely obsessed, right? And I started listening to the first book, and holy fuck, it is dry as shit. And I literally can't listen to it. Like it fucking makes me want to fall asleep at the wheel as I'm driving.
Right?
So is this a recommendation or a not recommendation?
I can't honestly recommend the books because but everyone else who likes them thinks it's the best shit since sliced bread.
What's it called?
Wheel of Time.
Moving on to the show, which is recently adapted by Amazon Prime. It's a lot of that same fucking mentality for the first 2-3 episodes. And I'm just like, motherfucker, this is boring. And then the 4th episode, I was like,
you realize John can walk.
Right.
That's how I was with Foundation. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So, that's right. I finished Foundation too. But like after that 4th episode now, and that's where it's like, where I'm caught up now. So I think they release up for the first 3 or 4 episodes. But now I'm like, okay, now this show might have a leg to stand on. Mm-hmm. And everybody who's read these books, or who I know who has read these books or listened to the books, say that it's actually fucking like incredible. Like better than Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
no, it's not sci-fi so much as it's like fantasy.
Okay.
Game of Thrones, like era, like feel, or I should say, not era. But
does Nick like the ending?
do I like
of the show?
Fuck.
No.
Game of Thrones, eat a fucking what? But yeah, so it's been interesting. So as far as the first 4 episodes go, I can absolutely say that the 4th episode's fantastic. So I'll give it a recommend with quotation marks, because if it sucks, I'm sorry. But but it has a lot of huge potential, knowing with the notoriety that series has and the fan base that series has. So interesting to see what happens.
Matt, are you still sticking with the La Brea?
I am behind on La Brea. So where are you at? What episode are they on now?
I just finished the 9th one.
Okay.
They're up to 9, and it's funny because every episode now is a twist. Every episode has that boom, 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 boom twist. I mean, they're really going for it. I finally figured out one before they gave the twist.
Oh, you figured out.
I called that.
Oh,
yeah.
Crazy crackpot theories.
Yeah. Well, because someone on our Facebook page called one, and I was like, huh. And then at the end of the episode, you go, damn, he was right.
Um,
But it's like it's almost like it's too much because it's like, okay, every episode doesn't have to have this huge twist. Boom, boom,
Right.
you know, this whole thing. I like with you guys in Manifest. I can't. I can't. I wish it was something I just stream and get it over with because
Right.
I got to wait every week for a new episode, and it's just like
I'm
killing
curious.
me.
I know that Netflix approved season 4 of Manifest, but I think it'll
They
be
did?
so. Yeah,
Oh yeah, we talked about that. I knew that.
yeah.
I knew that.
I think it'll because the third season aired and that was it. Like cut it, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if like the fourth will be it. It's like no, like you can finish it up, but that's it because
isn't it weird though if you know a show is going to have more seasons now, you're kind of like, okay, I'll keep watching, right?
well, it's
Or no? Do you,
I don't know. Like I think the shorter the seasons, the
No,
better.
Walking Dead. I said,
like
no.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's like
No, no, but
I
mean, like, there's certain shows now that, like, I just started a show, and then I'm like, okay, I'm liking this show, but then you're like, okay, is it over? Is this
Yeah.
just a one and done, or has this been renewed? You know, there was one show that I was watching, and I was like, oh, this was over 3 years ago. I'm just now coming around to this show. So anyway,
Well, it's
Well,
like
go
I
ahead.
started a couple weeks ago. I started watching Peaky Blinders, and
Oh, that's a great show.
that show had been recommended to me tons of times, and it always been in my queue. I just never got around to watching it yet. I'm done with season
Where
2.
the Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, where the Peaky Blind.
Where the Peaky
that's a-
Blinders, you motherfucker.
Are you Dick Van Dyke?
I don't know. I'm doing the one guy. It's always the older brother that's kind of drunk and
No, I got you. No, I'm just messing with you. But there's only 6 episodes per season, and so you can knock that out pretty quick. And that's the
I
kind of
haven't
shows
finished
I
it yet,
like.
though.
Yeah, like I said, I've only finished season 2, but it's a great show. Like it's one of those that I know I'd started it a while back, and I watched the first episode, but I was probably like tired or something, and I just never gave it a shot or high. But now I have. And
I thought you were talking to Chris.
well, he's over there, just constantly on his little.
All
pipe
I am
there,
saying is give heart a chance.
I need
But
a
it's a fantastic. I have 2 episodes to go before the final episode. I haven't watched it yet, but I've been watching Narcos Mexico, and it kept saying season 3, and I go, wait a minute, there were 2 seasons. They were in Colombia. I go, how could there be 3 seasons? I go, did I miss the second season? And so I figured out, we didn't have Netflix for about a year. I probably missed that season.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been watching season 2. It's excellent, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
No,
And Mindhunters is fantastic.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, Will Fry just mentioned Mindhunters, another excellent show. I hope
And
to
they're
God
coming-
a third season.
They rumors are they're getting together.
Yeah, because
They're
it's
getting
so
the band
good.
back together.
So Will, I'm not sure where you're
Yoko's
at.
going to be in it.
And Will, I'm not sure where you're at in Mindhunter, but the season finale of season 1 is the only show I think ever that's given me a full-on panic attack.
I literally
and a full-on hard on.
I literally
And a hard on same time. Yeah.
well, yeah, because
the blood just went everywhere at that point.
I literally jumped.
Chris, you're
back.
muted.
what was the season finale? I'm trying to remember. What
The hospital
it was.
scene where he goes and visits the guy that gives him advice.
The tall guy, the big guy.
Are you talking about this? You talking about season 2 finale or season 1 finale?
Season 1 finale with the guy with the glasses.
Season 1. Remember in season 1, the young guy. He's friends with the killer, the serial killer in prison. He's interviewing him a lot.
The king from Hamilton.
Yeah, the
Okay.
spittle guy. And at the I don't want to spoil it because Will's watching it, but like there's a scene where he goes and visits the guy in the hospital bed, and then what happens is like,
We're spoiling Will, but you don't see it coming.
no, you don't.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to remember what the fuck it was.
It
I
literally
honestly
scared-
can't
it
remember.
scared
when
the shit out of
when
me.
he
I
was
mean, I
there.
literally could change my pants because it was.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap!
yeah,
But no, it's so well done. It's such a great show.
great show.
Everybody had a wet dream.
And I'm still watching Ghost. Has anyone jumped in and watched Ghost yet?
What?
Ghost?
Ghost? Didn't we talk about
with
Ghost?
Demi Moore and
No,
Whoopi
but I
Goldberg?
watched
No.
the show Ghosted.
I don't know anything about Ghost.
It's not Ghost. It is.
No,
called Ghost?
that's a different show. It's a comedy.
No, the one on CBS. where she can see the ghost, her husband
You
can't.
still watch network TV?
Time of
I
kidding.
hate
oh, wait,
to say
that's
it,
Dirty
but
Dancing.
I hate to
Right.
say it, but I've
You're thinking,
the show's hilarious. I even got my wife to watch it.
That's what I'm.
No, but I even got
and it
I even got my
explodes all
wife.
over.
I even got my wife to watch it. So, and she's a hard pleaser. I mean, it's just like you can't please her. So it takes a lot of work.
Well, yeah, you had a lot of kids, Jack, so did something.
Well, they're adopted. So anyway,
He kept working.
yeah.
Don't you see? He kept working to please her.
Yeah.
But anyway, no.
Singing,
If you
"Please,
haven't
please
seen
me."
it, watch Ghost. Watch Narcos Mexico. Well, if you haven't seen Narcos, you got to watch the whole thing, even though it's mostly subtitles.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so Narcos is first, and then you said Narcos Mexico.
Well, you have Narcos where they're in Colombia.
Okay.
Where was it Pablo
Escobar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they go to Mexico, and so they deal with all the crap going where the DEA agent was killed. I mean, it really happened. I mean, it was. But anyway, but watch Ghost, and if you watch La Brea, I'm sorry, but it's a terrible show. But
I'll probably put it on in the background at some point when I'm working or something. There's always a TV show that I want to
La Brea.
I want to draw to or something.
Okay. But you can't do that with Narcos because you got to read the captions.
Right. Or the Beatles program. It's like I can't do something. You can listen to it. It's great background to listen to, but you're going to miss all the facts that pop up.
Oh yeah.
So,
and then
some of
definitely
the
watch it
visual.
with the subtitles on because
Yeah.
there's a lot of background people that are talking and you're like, oh,
fuck, we weren't going to talk about
relevant.
the Beatles.
I know.
Okay.
And
So
we all saw Ghostbusters, right?
okay, wait, before you get to
Oh, yeah.
Ghostbusters, because I'm going to step out for that part and get a beer, but because I didn't see Ghostbusters. The one other show I was going to mention, Rutherford Falls, is on Peacock. If you haven't checked out that show, if you have Peacock, it stars Ed Helms. It's a comedy created by Ed Helms as well as Mike Schur from The Office. It takes a while to get going.
Is that where small town?
Yeah, I gotta say, I tried it and stopped. And then I came back to it and I pushed through the 4 episodes and it even my wife got hooked on it now because we were like, it actually gets better.
I watched the first episode when I signed up for Peacock free. They still show you one episode, and so I didn't watch another one. But we recently signed up. Now we've canceled Peacock again because only reason we got Peacock was to watch Yellowstone, and it's not on Yellowstone until March. Yellowstone's not on Peacock till March. It's so fucking confusing.
You don't have Paramount?
I have Paramount Plus, but you can't stream it. You have to watch it live.
Oh.
And I'm like going, and we already missed the first couple episodes. I said, hey, why don't we sit down and watch Yellowstone? And it's like, what the fuck? Why is this show so hard to watch? They say you got to have this, you got to have this, you got to have. It's like, it's so fucking confusing.
Have you watched? Because I didn't even know about it until a couple days ago. Have you watched 1833 or 1835, whatever, which is the prequel to Yellowstone?
I've not. No, what's that on?
I think it's the same thing. But basically, it's supposed to be Kevin Costner's great grandfather about him when they settled the area, and so it's going to be a lot more hardship, with the Native Americans, things like that. And I don't know how long it'll last.
A lot of killing of Native Americans, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm curious about because it's supposed to be in Montana, right?
Yeah.
And so, the Crow and the Flatheads would not be very kind to them. So it's I don't.
So just to sell a little bit of Rutherford Falls, and there is some interesting connections between Native Americans and founding fathers that take place in that show. And there's it takes a while to get to it, but the comedic payoff where you see the white man going through the plight. And it's once that flip happens,
we've suffered.
It's what they're putting a certain character through that Native Americans would go through. And that to me, once they hit that part, I was like, fuck, I wish you would have led with this. This is hilarious. Putting this character in this situation is gold.
So I just started Googling the shows. I had never heard of it, before.
Which one?
Rutherford Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is you mentioned that too. Apparently, it actually has the largest indigenous writing staff on television.
Really?
Huh.
which is kind of cool. So it looks like they got like 4 or 5 of the writers are Native American
They're very smart about
to
everything.
get the real perspective.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
There's even a part where one of the characters is trying to go to other Native Americans and getting artifacts for a certain museum, and what they're giving her is like, this isn't an artifact. It's like this guy's trying to give her a blender. He's like, no, it went to the protest, when they were trying to stop the pipeline. And then when the like, it's a really smart joke in there. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I felt like that joke could only have been written by someone who's
Here's your parting gift.
so.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything's always better when you actually experience it, like when it's actually happened. Like you can tell when shit's just made up. But yeah, because that's something that happened. Like, yeah, like I'm bringing you a blender. It was at the protest. Like,
Well, so somebody
blender?
took it to the protest, but then it broke the day that like the pipeline went through or something like that, and that was significant. And he's like, "Well, it's still good though. It's still good blender." It's like
It's under warranty.
I don't know. It's worth a watch, but I would say you got to get past you got to get past the pilot.
The first episode.
Some
wasn't
comedies
too-
can be
It
like
wasn't
that.
too bad. I mean, it was.
No,
I
it wasn't bad. It just, I don't feel like it was really like fully charged, and I felt like all.
No,
of the pieces
it wasn't one of
started
those.
coming
It
together.
wasn't one of those pilots where I go, okay, I got to watch the next episode.
Yeah, and comedies can be like that, they
Yeah,
can
like,
be really
trying
Comedies
to think,
because
like,
you have to set up.
or comedy movies based on ghosts.
Well, it's funny.
what's
I was
the-
rewatching MASH again, and I'm watching the pilot episode. I go, there's at least 4 or 5 lines in this episode that couldn't be on air today. It couldn't be. They would not make those jokes. And I'm like going, I mean, it's one of the greatest shows ever, but a lot of you go back and watch it. Go, that didn't hold up well.
Right. Well,
I was watching on TikTok.
I mean, they have a character named Spirit Chucker, number 1, which is from the movie.
It's interesting you say that because the other day I was watching like those reaction videos that people post on Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah,
And these 2 black dudes who are doing like a blind reaction to watching movies, and they were watching Blazing Saddles. And it's a scene where he's coming in on the horse.
Oh my God.
He's near.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some shit that I can't say that on our show. Some of the things that were said.
Somebody save him!
But it was interesting to see.
Fine morning.
It was really interesting to see like the reaction of somebody who's never experienced that movie until now.
Well, it's like even like you can do this. Like I even watch. I like watching kids who like
the movie Kids. You're a fucking
no.
sicko. Jesus,
it's like top 5 movie, man.
what the fuck?
No, it's like same thing. I think it's like 2 15-year-old black kids who'd only listen to rap because they were like somewhere else, and like someone made them listen to Phil Collins, and there's like
those guys are on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I think exactly. And you see them like, man, this is the. I mean, you see them they're super into it, like yeah.
I think they do one where they watch Boston too, or something like that.
They do that. They watch Boston, and they have them watching Bill Burr.
Oh, nice.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I'm into Bill Burr now. You sold me on it.
Great.
Nick, I'm so glad you recommended him, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Burr is like he's just my cup of tea. He's from my area.
Well, he doesn't care. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, there's a sketch where he's talking with his wife, and his wife's getting upset. And he's like, because she's black, and he goes about, what about the skateboard? What about the skateboard? That was all white guys skateboarding. I mean, he's saying things that they're just not politically correct.
Jack, you should check out F is for Family.
F is for Family
on Netflix. Okay. It's a cartoon, and he is the main character.
Oh, okay.
He's so. I mean, seriously,
funny.
Chris, I'm glad you mentioned him because I've really gotten into him, but he's just not politically correct.
Yeah. Lewis Black's always been my guy.
Yeah.
If like all the comedians I like, it's probably Lewis Black's probably the most, just because he's very political, but yet he does not take side. He just shits on everybody, which I love.
Yeah, this episode of MASH, the whole time I'm watching it, This show would have been canceled after the first episode. If it was today. It literally would have been canceled.
Jack, have you seen The Mandalorian? I'm sorry to interject, but have you seen The Mandalorian? Are you not watching The Mandalorian? Yeah. Okay, so you saw Bill Burr on that show.
Yeah.
So now knowing his comedic chops, what do you think of his performance on The Mandalorian?
I think he's not bad. I mean, he's playing himself, but it's just
why didn't he put his helmet on? I mean, that's
I thought he was going to be fucking terrible. And then the episode when he confronts the dude in the cafeteria.
Yeah. I thought it was excellent.
Like unbelievable.
Why
like,
did he
I
have
was
it
like,
off? I'm telling you, Empire regulations required him to have his helmet on.
Yeah.
No, I thought he did a great job. I mean, I wouldn't put him in Shakespeare.
Wouldn't hold up in court.
I'll watch him in F for Family because it's different context altogether. It's fantastic.
Well, fuck, I'll have to check it out.
Well, so hopefully someday I can watch Yellowstone because it's literally is a fucking most confused. That's where I go. You know, when I was growing up, TV was so much simpler. You watched the commercials. You didn't bitch and complain about the commercials. You got to go get a snack or go to the bathroom. But I mean, I hate commercials now.
Look,
but
Jack,
you knew that it was because I was watching Seinfeld. There was an episode of the TV Guide. What did we need the TV Guide for? You only had 3 channels. It was okay.
To be fair, Jack, the guy playing the piano in the corner in the theater could only play for so long, and you had to put the titles up on the screen in between the stuff. It was hard.
Well, then talkies came, and we were okay. The Charlie Chaplin movies were kind of hard, but no. But I'm just saying, what did you really need the TV Guide? You knew that Monday night was this, Tuesday night was this. Wednesday night was it was the
Monday
same
night's
shit
the animated version of that.
When did TV Guide launch?
It's been around for a long time. In the 60s.
David Holbrook on here. He'll tell us.
Yeah.
I mean, we
probably
got
like 59 or something. But
everyone in our block got the fucking TV Guide. I mean, you only needed one. And it's okay.
April 3rd, 1953.
Wow.
The reason I bring that up is George Costanza's dad collects TV Guides in an episode, and Elaine takes one TV Guide. And I'm like going, but I'd like, I know I have TV. I used to. Oh, TV Guide's here.
Well, I liked them better when they were the small book, and then they switched like 20 years ago to they were a big book. I'm like, I don't want the big book. I like the little small book.
It was like a little Reader's Digest.
Yeah, it was a little bitty one. Yeah.
Well, look that up, kids at home. But
no kids are listening to this, and if they are, fuck them.
Those are bad parents.
Well, I'm just saying. I just. But again, you guys today don't know because look at how many different ways are there to watch TV.
My kids don't know broadcast television. They don't know. My daughter never knew.
They have
scheduled TV. Like that's
scheduled TV is
not even a concept.
Yeah,
like John saying, we watched TV before the remotes. I used to be a remote.
Yeah. Smack him in the head.
Go get channel 39, which was NBC. Go get channel 8, CBS.
So, what's wild to me, like as an example, last week, my daughter wanted to stay up late, and I was like, "No, you're not gonna stay up late. You're not gonna watch any shows, or whatever." And like, my wife and I just wanted to hang out and relax, and my wife and I had a gummy with the anticipation that our daughter was gonna go to bed. But we started flipping through, and all of a sudden, I'm on Disney Plus, and I play on Flight of the Navigator. Right, so
you in the Flight of the Navigator.
Back when I was a kid, I watched that movie 1,000 times, but I had to go to the fucking movie store and rent it every time I watched that movie. And we watched the whole thing.
It cost you money,
so she stayed up late, anyways, because we sat there like.
That's why Chris's 2 favorite bands are the Beach Boys and Twisted Sister.
Yes, dude.
You're not gonna take it.
Oh man.
Oh man, I fucking love that movie so much. So, anyways, she stayed up. She ended up staying up late. She played us like a fiddle, so we let her stay up to watch.
Dad, what was your favorite show?
Oh, Dad,
she's good.
Why won't you pay attention to me when you're on your drugs? Thump, thump, thump.
Imagine your kid walks up, you start actually thumping you on the top of your forehead, like, look what's in there. What's going on, Dad?
Mommy, why won't you feed me?
That's my skull. I'm so wasted.
So hungry. But all I have to do is
Harbro.
Hey, Harbro. It's Haribo.
Haribo. Yeah. Okay.
No, but thankfully she's now a fan of that movie, so we'll probably watch it over and over again.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Just
What?
put in
Thankfully,
another.
She's a fan of pot.
I mean,
Oh,
you gotta introduce her to all of those kind of like B-level '80s films, like
You can just
like
tell her
Space
it's a
Camp,
sequel.
You know,
You can tell
Oh,
her
yeah.
it's a sequel to
You
Flight
got to
of the
introduce the
Navigator.
Fucking
Porkies.
Space Camp.
Space
great
Camp.
movie.
Gotta watch Space Camp.
Yeah.
So I got into that, right? And this diverged on another path
Who's
here,
in
a
Space
different
Camp?
tangent. So I was watching TikTok one day, and they, you know, people like on TikTok, they have an account where it's solely there to post, like, to repost something that played on a fucking YouTube. It's just
those
annoying.
fuckers.
Anyways, but this one was, I don't know if you were being serious or not. But,
I am. No, I am.
Um,
Like, be original.
they're playing a clip from the movie The Substitute.
Mhm.
Oh,
You ever watching The Substitute?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched that like randomly. Like, then I'm gonna watch The Substitute, and because it does not age well at all, but it was one of those badass.
That's
like,
with Terry
you know,
O'Quinn, right?
No,
Terry
it's with
O'Quinn?
Tom
No.
Berenger.
Tom Berenger.
Leah
Oh,
Thompson.
okay. I
Leah
got it.
Thompson was in Space
Yeah.
Camp.
There's a lot of people.
And
Space
Joaquin
Camp.
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah,
Oh,
and then
Joaquin.
Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston, yeah, and then
Kelly Preston.
the woman that was Spielberg's wife.
I know she was in Indiana Jones.
Kate Capshaw.
Kate Capshaw.
Kate
Yep.
Capshaw.
And Tom
Her-
Skerritt.
Her,
was in
her
it, too.
daughter and their daughter.
Gotta love Tom Skerritt.
She's
That
in,
dude fucking owned the 80s.
Viper?
Did.
Hell
Like
yeah.
her own.
He's like 80 now because I saw him on TikTok.
No, he's Merlin. He's not Viper. He's Merlin.
No,
No, he's Viper.
He's a Viper?
Merlin's
Okay.
Merlin's the bald guy. No,
Ironsides.
now you got me.
Yeah, Ironsides.
Yeah, Ironsides. Ironsides is
You're gonna do what?
Yeah, you got me all messed up now.
Another
Merlin
movie.
Merlin's the name of the new
Tom
Ghostbusters.
Skerritt is like
is,
80 years old now. So he shows videos of him walking around different countries.
Merlin
we
is
got
the
people.
fifth
We got people right now screaming at us in the chat, probably like going, "You don't know the names of all the call signs from Top Gun? What the hell?"
Who? Which one are you referring to?
Well, Merlin
Ice-
was Iceman. Well, you know who Iceman is.
Iceman. Merlin was
Merlin is
Ironside.
Tom. No, I thought.
No, was it Merlin? What's it Merlin?
Merlin is Tom Skerritt.
No.
Right?
Is he Tom?
No,
I thought Merlin was
Viper is Tom
Viper.
Skerritt.
Viper's Tom
Okay.
Skerritt. Merlin is the guy that takes over for.
I thought he was Tim
for,
Robbins. I
yeah,
thought
Tim
Merlin was
Robbins.
You're right,
Yeah,
it
Merlin
was.
Tim Robbins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Wells, Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Viper is
Jester
Skerritt.
is
Jester.
Jester is
Fuck,
yeah.
yes.
That's who we're
Yes.
thinking of.
so Viper is Tom Skerritt, and then Jester is Ironsides.
Ironsides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Top
someone get
Gun
that?
and
Look
from
at
that?
the hard
Space Camp.
deck. That's bullshit, man.
Top Gun and Space Camp both came out in
Below the hard deck
86.
doesn't count.
He was riding high.
That's bullshit. We got him. You guys really
Yeah,
are
that's what it
cowboys.
is.
That movie got pushed back to next summer. That sucks.
I know.
Did it? I thought it's come out this like July or September.
That's
Well, I
awesome.
mean, it was supposed to
Oh,
come
right,
out
it is
this
next
year.
year. I'm already
but-
thinking it's 2022.
Yeah, it was supposed to,
It's almost December. It's 2022. What the hell?
right.
Why are they pushing it back? I mean, what the fuck?
Money. The thing is, what's weird is it's pushed back. Like it's basically both Top Gun and Mission Impossible 5 or 6 or whatever it is are releasing basically on the same week.
I
And
think
you're
they're
like,
on- I think
oh,
they're on
that's not
number
a good
7.
strategy, man. What the hell?
I think
Yeah.
they're on number 7. Mission Impossible.
He's getting too old to be Mission Impossible. He's like almost 60 years old.
I saw. I
Hey,
was watching. My wife got on
you-
a TikTok kick, and she was watching this thing with a baby. The guy drops a baby down. Da-da-da, da-da-da. You know, with the scene where he's like this.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
You guys are TikTokers.
There was a.
You
I
get
fucking
hooked on it,
love
and you can.
TikTok.
You
It's
can.
the
It's like,
best.
oh my god! I spent 30 minutes on my phone looking through TikTok.
30, fucking 30. I got my weekly usage report the other day, and it made me fucking embarrassed.
I got grandkids. I got to feed them. They got Papa. We're
Christ's
starving.
sake, how much time I spent on TikTok is awful. Like I gotta put my phone down.
And most of it's just crap.
But you know what? I mean, only thing I'll like, who are you gonna call? You know, with your phone, if not the Ghostbusters.
All right,
If there was a Ghostbusters segue so that Matt could go get his beer and leave this
Go get your beer,
conversation.
Matt.
There you go.
So feel free to talk about Ghostbusters. I haven't seen Ghostbusters yet, and I don't care
Yeah.
if I'm spoiled. But I don't want to be spoiled.
No.
So the reason why I
I
wrote
wanna
should be a good debate in our private chat was
Oh
because
yeah, I questioned that.
you questioned. That's why I'm bringing this up. It's because
Yeah.
I assumed that someone would have the opposite opinion of what my usual opinion of every movie I watch is.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
so
saw it after your review.
Yeah.
So Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know, I think we talked about it last week because Jay was on the show and he's getting all excited because he's renting the theater and all that shit. And then we started reading the reviews. The movie was getting shit on, like
and
shit
so.
on, by critics.
Yeah.
So I had the day off yesterday, and I went and saw it. Jack, you said you saw it as well.
I saw it with the private screening where Jay had.
Oh,
he ran
Jay.
out the theater, and his son, his youngest son, I bought popcorn. He knocked it all over. Literally, it looked like a crime scene where I was sitting.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to pick it up, and they said, fuck it, they'll clean it up.
So Nick, I put the question mark there because I was trying to get see what you meant about that in the private chat because you called it right. So
Right.
I fucking loved it. Like I actually really enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
And I went into it like with my head hung low because of all the reviews that I had seen and heard. And I was like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. I'm not gonna shit. And then I went and saw it yesterday, and I loved like almost every second of it. Like it was
you were a
sucker
for the ending, right?
Oh, for fuck's
the
sake,
ending's
dude.
The ending's great. The ending's
I
great.
cried. I fucking cried.
If you don't cry at that ending, then something's wrong with that.
Yeah,
all right.
man.
Something's wrong. I didn't cry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a crier. I welled up.
I did smile. I thought it was. I said, I'm glad they paid tribute to him, and I'm trying not to spoil people.
Yeah. So the special effects used in that particular case are special effects that we have seen in other movies in which we've criticized. I have to say they did the perfect dead guy CGI effect.
Well, he didn't talk. So
it was awesome.
I thought it was this is my take on the.
That dead guy.
No, he didn't. My take on the movie is I enjoyed it because I saw Nick's review and I saw the other. I'm kind of like Chris going into it. I enjoyed it. I don't think the kid from Stranger Things is a good actor.
No,
agreed.
He was the weakest part of the film.
He literally has the
same.
Yeah. He has the same expression on his face in everything he does.
Yeah.
Angry teenager kid. I mean, he's just has that look. And plus, the girl that played the granddaughter. I mean, obviously, you knew who
She's
it
the
was
best part of the film.
She looked just like the guy,
Yeah. So what's interesting is that I had no idea who was in the movie, to be honest with you, before going to it. And it was driving me nuts when I was watching. I'm like, she looks really, really familiar. I can't figure out what she's from, but she was on Fuller House. She was one of the kids' friends on.
She has a long. She has. If you look at her resume, she's a long. Because Colleen and Jay were trying to say she was in Mad Men. I go, she couldn't have been.
She
Mad
was.
Men. She was.
Really?
Was she in Mad Men?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn, she must have been like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's. I mean, Mad Men. Anyway, so but I'm like going. I really enjoyed it, but what's his name is Finn something.
Wolfhard.
I'm just like going. He's
Finn
the same
was the worst
character. He's the same character he plays in Stranger Things. But I thought some of the jokes fell flat.
Yeah,
but Carrie Coon's a great actress.
They're terrible jokes.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. It's one of those movies I enjoyed it, but I think I'm a one and done.
With the exception,
it's not something I would watch again. I don't know how Jay's watched it 3 times.
I'll never watch it again.
So with the exception of the kid from Stranger Things, though, like I think the rest of the movie was casted incredibly.
The podcast kid was hilarious,
fucking awesome, right?
Kid.
Like such a good. He stole the show and many scenes. Like I think the most of the humor came from him, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
I thought her
girl
attempts at humor were fucking adorable. Like I thought that was really cute.
Her jokes were all good. They were funny. Yeah. You have to get that kind of humor though. Yeah. And even the girl that worked at the burger stand, that was like the romance. She had the dry humor, like like, so. I mean, some of it was good. I mean, so like to me, the opening solid. I thought like, oh great, coming from the mountain, there's a threat there. This is happening. You see the character. Like okay, good. Then it starts to just a little bit drag to me. Like I'm sorry, everyone out there. Obviously, Chris liked it. Jack's kind of like in the middle. I'm on this movie fucking sucks opinion.
It didn't. Like the first one. I'm old enough. I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, you can't beat the first one. The original.
I went and saw it like 2 days later again in the theater because it was so good. I mean, the first one I've seen like 50 times. Who knows?
Well, the first one's so original. The humor is all over the place in that it's different kinds of humor. There's so many things that are. It's just Ghostbusters is arguably one of the best movies of the '80s. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it's in the top 5. It has to
Yeah,
be.
Oh well,
So-
comedy. If you're going to put it in a list of comedy, it's top 10 of all time.
Yeah, it's so good. But okay, so but all right. So JP and me had a conversation about as Cliff and I did as well. Cliff liked it. I did not like it, but we did break it down with each other. Cliff and I do that. He gets bored and he calls me. He goes, "Let's rewrite Ghostbusters Afterlife." Okay, so we do. So it's things like me. It's like, okay, so why is she hard on her luck? Why is she getting evicted? Like, you don't explain these things. Seems like, why if Paul Rudd is a seismologist, why is he teaching summer school? It's like he would be there on a grant, studying these things. He wouldn't.
Well,
they're
in a small town where there's no money.
But I'm just saying, like, it's things that you don't explain. It could just be a one-liner, like, "Oh, I need some extra cash, so I'm doing," like they didn't explain it.
Look,
so,
Paul Rudd's collecting Social Security, but he looks like he's 20.
Yeah, it's true. But like that to me, like the build, even though it drags a little bit, that's a solid plot. Like everything that happens. But as soon as you get to the grocery store scene, I think the movie devolves into shit because
the marshmallows.
The marshmallow scene for one, it was cute, but it went on way too long, and it had no point. No
it did
point
have
whatsoever.
A blender scene.
That scene was purely made to sell toys.
Exactly.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah, baby Stay Puffs.
I did have some notes about it too, but I think I have notes about that scene. But one of the things I really actually liked about that was the CGI that they used for the dogs.
Gozer?
Yeah.
Gozers.
Well,
yeah.
No, that wasn't. It wasn't CGI.
I know. So it looked almost.
It's great.
It felt like the first movie, like with those.
Well, especially when it runs out of the store and slides, it's a shot for shot. Yeah, it's exactly the same as the first.
So I really did enjoy that. So like, and there are some like shot for shot examples, as you're mentioning that too, and like when Phoebe first turns on not first time, but at one point when she turns on the proton pack and she's like going at it with a ghost, and they have that cut scene of her, you can kind of see like the edge of the beam, but you see. but it's all in the reflection of her glasses, and it is like a complete like copy, like scene for scene from her grandfather, really, like from Egon. So there's just really cool like back and forth kind of like.
What's the supreme? I don't know what they call it. When she goes, Gozer. Is that the same actress that is CGI'd it, or is that just
no? They look like Olivia Wilde to me. That didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks just like Olivia Wilde.
I did like the tie-in between.
It looked like the original actress.
I liked the tie-in between, and I liked and I disliked the tie-in between the mine and the rooftop, without getting too far into just the plot of the story about what that's about, because they have a really an arbitrary character that has one line in the entire movie for a fairly maybe B+ list actor. What is he doing? One thing I couldn't get over though is
wait, who's the B+ actor?
Matt Tree says it was Olivia Wilde. Yeah,
it was Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, the B-list actor is the guy who's in the glass coffin.
Okay.
But I mean, unnecessary. Like
he won an Academy Award.
I know, but the storyline behind that is cool. But he didn't need to be there. But anyways, I digress. One thing
he helped write.
I actually laughed out loud.
He helped write it.
Did he really?
No.
Oh, okay. I actually had I laughed out loud at one point though when I was watching it, is when they all team up with proton packs and like 3 or 4 of them out of the people have liver spots on their hands holding proton packs. And I'm like, they're so fucking old.
We all get old.
Laughing out loud.
We all get old, Chris.
But you still expect to see like liver spots holding proton packs. It was awful. But Paul Rudd was the perfect character, like ancillary character. Like he added a nice little bit to it as well. I enjoyed him. But
would you go to watch it again?
I will watch it again with my daughter. Yeah. So
but
I wanted
you
to
wouldn't
see
pay to go watch it again.
No. But it obviously has an entire level of attraction to the idea of it's very nostalgic, right? There's no you can't shake
service.
that.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't shake that. And for what it's worth, I really enjoyed it. like there's the few scenes that kind of had that uplifting, warm feeling, like when she first comes out the side hatch of Ecto-1, and you're like fuck yeah, like you just get super pumped about that stuff. So like it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Like I said, like the first act, even a little bit into the middle act, like I enjoyed it because to me, fan service should be subtle, not smack you in the face. So
the whole movie though.
But yeah, exactly. But when she goes down, for example, for the first time, in the into like the secret lair of his, and you see all the molds and funguses on the wall, you have to understand that is a one line, from a movie that says like, "What do you do for fun?" He's like, "I collect molds and funguses," and so you get that. That's not beating you over the head with it. And that's where I'm saying, like, whereas it goes to descends to shit to me was the grocery scene on, because it's from that point on, I almost got up and left the theater because I knew exactly what was going to happen because it was the same movie. And that's where I meant where it was like The Force Awakens, in that it's just like, oh, so Gozer's going to show up. She's going to be at the tower. They're going to blast her, and then she'll go away, and then that's it. And then it's like, and it was the exact same as the original film. And it's like, and so to me, it's like, if you're going to go with Gozer again, fine. That doesn't bother me one bit. But if you're going to do it, introduce it early in the film. And like have the character of Gozer build more on top of it. And then I would have also preferred it to where like you would have opened up the scene after the opening scene of the actual funeral and have Rey be there as like a mentor towards Phoebe. And like actually have the original cast in it more. And then, have Winston, like they showed, like Winston's now like a rich guy. So you're like, oh, Winston's doing this. And it's like, and have them more in there. You don't have to have Bill because Bill doesn't want to be in it. So it's like, just have him in the end like they did. There's so many ways you could have made it. Just the
ending was extremely predictable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Because I stuck around just because it's like, okay, let's just see how it is. And I was glad I did because, like we said, like the ending scene, if it doesn't make you cry or well up, then something's wrong with you because it's just like, damn, like it's just it's great. I wish there would have been a couple lines, but
it gave that actor / writer producer who's gave us tons of Caddyshack, Stripes, etc. I just watched Stripes again, by the way, but I thought it was a nice. What am I looking for? A nice tribute to him.
It was,
yeah.
At the end, and I like I said, I didn't cry, but I said, "Oh, okay, this is nice."
Dude, when the hand comes in on top of the other hand, I was like, "Oh fuck!" Oh. It's like, I'm fucking done. Like that was that point forward, you can't hold it back. Like it was beautiful. I love it.
I did like how they always referred to it as a dirt farm and all that different stuff. I thought it was funny. But it was yes, they did rip off the theme song again. But yeah, I'm glad I watched it. But of the four, we've had four? We've had the original one, the second one that should have never been made. The third one, that was
the third one.
Well, the second one, the
2016 is utter shit. I never even finished it.
Yeah.
Well, I finished. I like the parts with what's his name, Thor. But this one was the best since the original.
But it was the original.
Okay, but I gave it a B. I thought it was good.
I gave it a B plus A minus. I mean, it's definitely not perfect, but it just had that nostalgic feel, and I loved it.
I couldn't give it an A because
I went into it getting ready to like make fun of it, right? Because of all the shit that I had heard, and it completely changed my mind.
So I told my wife, it'll be a short movie.
It's not a bad film. I mean, I gave it a C minus just because I enjoy plot, and that's why I said it's The Force Awakens. Because like the people who like The Force Awakens, I don't hate people for liking The Force Awakens, but it's the same as the original Star Wars, and like this Ghostbusters is the same as the original Ghostbusters. It's like it's not over the beat you over the head as The Force Awakens was, but you can see the parallels very easily. And that like I knew immediately that Paul Rudd was going to be one of the dogs. I was like, oh, he's going to be one of the dogs. She's going to be one of the dogs. You could see it pretty quick.
By the way,
I
never saw her in that light before, but she's hot.
She was hot in The Leftovers.
The time,
but I fucking hated it. It's one of those things where I think that my hatred for the television show kind of put a damper on her.
The full frontal and Leftovers didn't tweak your interest, huh?
I don't even remember it.
Yeah,
Well,
she went full frontal and full backle.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She's a very attractive and great.
Okay.
She's a
Okay,
fantastic.
Google.
She's our age. Yeah.
She's a fantastic actress too.
Yeah.
She looks good in
Interesting.
gold. I will say that. I thought she really looked good in the gold dress.
All right, we should bring Matt back in.
That's a
even though,
Wisconsin sunrise.
I think we just don't tell him that we're done because
even though you guys talked for the fucking about the Beatles for like literally 4 times as the amount of time we talked about Ghostbusters.
You can't blame me. I just added little.
What? Look, if talking about the Beatles is wrong, I don't want to be right. Okay, Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Like he can hear me. Okay. Somehow he heard his name.
And when Gozer took over the world,
Yeah. Oh God.
that part was the best.
You're muted, Matt.
Oh, I thought you still weren't listening, Matt. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So now you know how it feels like to sit here and listen to you fuckers talk about
When
the Beatles
Paul
for
Rudd had
45
gray
minutes.
hair and actually looked old.
You know what?
Yeah, he looked imperfect.
When the dog raped him. Oh my God.
Man,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
so
it's
weird.
weird.
That was the
Weird
best
out of
part.
nowhere.
And that wasn't
And
Stay
then
Puft,
the
if you know
two-
what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
When the two monkeys jumped in from the Beatles.
It's like a river of frothy ejaculate.
I wish that
This
was
man
the
has
show
no dick.
title, and I just came in on this. Heyo.
You came in.
So you're telling me that they ended with a rooftop concert again, just like the
Yeah.
original?
Yeah.
Fucking A. Called it.
Yeah, who's saying Ghostbusters? Ray Parker Jr.
They just played Mr. Moonlight the entire time.
Yeah, he's like,
That's the
who are you gonna
worst.
call? Ghostbusters.
That's the worst. I would
So-
even take.
This is not a spoiler, Matt. So I'm just gonna say this, but there was a song that was played in the credits that's actually performed by the
Beatles?
the actress, the
actress,
young
yeah.
young lady actress, the lead.
I said
She
Beatles.
has got a music video and stuff too. It's kind of cool.
She's Paul McCartney's great granddaughter.
By the way, for
Everybody
anybody
had an idea.
anybody paying attention at home, while
That's a no.
while I
People
was
shut the
away,
show off 30 minutes into the show.
while I was away, I ended up drinking a whole beer.
Oh my god, you had a
So,
full
oh my
beer?
God.
Holy
no,
shit!
No one probably saw it.
wasted.
No
Oh,
one
He's
saw it.
now you're gonna pick on me because I was gone
Okay.
for a half an
Can I-
hour.
can
Because
I-
you just wanted
Should've
credit for
watched.
drinking a beer.
I should have.
I drank a beer.
I drank a beer while I was
Okay,
fucking
I did
gone,
have a
and
question
now
I wanted to
I'm
ask
coming
you.
back.
I did have a question I wanted to ask you guys. Twitter this weekend had a thing where people
How would you
were,
know?
Right.
people on Twitter. They had a thing. I have another Twitter account, dickhead. So- but they were saying people were saying, I will not watch this movie because it has such and such in it because of their political beliefs. Not that anything they've done wrong. Is there anybody? So I'm asking you guys, or anyone in the chat, or anyone who's listening at this point. Is there an actor you won't, or actress you won't watch because of their political beliefs? Not that they've done anything wrong. It's just you don't agree with them politically.
Kevin Sorbo.
Donald Trump.
He is an actor. Sort of. Yeah, like I
So
mean,
you won't
You
watch
can't
Home
tell
Alone.
me he is not.
You won't watch Home Alone again.
No, I actually watched Home Alone 2.
All right, so shut the fuck up.
It's
You're
the
right.
second one. It's the
you
second
know-
one, and he's only in it for a very short period of time.
It doesn't.
By the
Whoa,
way,
whoa,
he
whoa,
would-
whoa,
he
whoa,
would
whoa,
not be in
whoa,
this-
whoa. I'm asking you: is there a movie out there you won't watch because of some actor's political beliefs?
No,
Okay.
except for Breakfast at Tiffany's.
it's a
Can't
classic.
get past that Mickey Rooney thing. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, like, I get what you're saying. I get what you're
I
saying,
mean, it's
Jack.
like,
Like,
there's not much else to that movie. Come on,
you
Like,
know,
she's hot. I get it. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
I mean, there's definitely
She's
actors.
hot.
There's definitely actors I think that go
Audrey
to the
Hepburn.
extreme, and I don't agree with them.
Yeah, she's hot.
I agree with
She's
like
hot.
Paul Newman long time ago was asked about that, like why he never expressed his political beliefs. He said, because I'm an actor. He goes, just because I have a microphone does not mean I have the right to use it. And that's kind of my.
I think Jar Jar Binks said that.
And that's what happened to Jar Jar Binks' career.
The chancellor, immediate supreme power. Yeah. But yeah, like I, even though I might have agreed with some of the stuff Robert De Niro said about Trump, I thought it was really classless. Stuff he
I
said.
thought it was beautiful.
I just, it's like
Scott
You know what?
Baio.
I'm gonna beat up Trump.
John
you talking to me?
says Scott Baio, which is
Scott
interesting.
Baio.
So you're
That's a
not going to
very
watch
interesting
any of
one.
the Happy
That's a very-
Days years.
Charles
Joni
and
and
Charles?
Chachi off the
Ricky
books.
Schroeder.
The
He's fucking
movie
lost it.
Stoned.
Yeah.
But
Charles in
talking about
Charge. You're just
you're
not
talking about
watching it
actors
yet.
who I'm talking about. Okay, like Scott Baio. I can't think of anything he would do that I would go watch.
Charles in Charge.
Well, I used to watch Charles
Of our
and Charles.
Happy
days
Days.
and nights.
Happy Days, but was he really good in Happy Days? I mean, Happy Days
No,
was
he was
that
not.
that was
He-
when the show was sliding.
He was
No,
like
but
the gremlin.
Going
that
back
was
to
brought
exactly what
in.
you said to Matt.
Like, he
Matt
was
though,
like-
Matt's like, well, he's only in it for a minute, but
Yeah.
if he's only in for a minute, you can't watch it.
But I'm saying Chachi is not in all of Happy Days. You can watch the first 5 seasons of Happy Days and not have to deal with Scott Baio.
Yeah,
right?
he's basically like an Ewok.
I
He's
mean,
like the
exactly
Wicket of Happy
exactly.
Days.
So I'm gonna watch it till the 5th season or 6th, whatever he comes in there. Whoa, 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 and then I'm not watching it again.
Tony Danza.
Really,
Tony
Tony
Danza?
Danza.
Yeah.
What
So
is
you
it
won't
about
watch-
Tony
you won't
Danza?
watch-
You just
You won't watch Taxi?
Fuck that guy. Yeah, no,
What Tony Danza do?
nothing. That's out of principle.
I mean, I watch. People said
It's
I'll
on
never
principle.
I'll
He's
never
just
watch.
not
Clint,
great.
I'll never watch another Clint Eastwood movie again. I go,
What?
really?
What?
Because people didn't like
No.
the fact that when he did the thing about the chair.
Oh
And-
God.
And I said, really? You're
It
never
was
gonna
a
watch a
terrible,
He's
terrible
like 90
fucking
something
joke.
years old. At that point, it's like
Who cares? It didn't.
Yeah.
He
It was
put
like
You
it
know
was like
what?
awkward
It was
bad.
awkward. It
Okay,
was awkward,
all right,
yeah.
but you're
It
not going
was-
to watch another Clint Eastwood movie again because of the chair.
mm.
I really like all of John's comments. Really, like John.
So you're
and
not
I
going to watch
bonded
Fast
while we
Times at
were going.
Ridgemont High ever again, John? Ever again? He's in that.
Ever.
Of course, he's
Sure.
not called. He's not called Nicholas Cage. He's Nicholas Coppola.
Sherry
in that
brings up a
movie.
good
Oh, we'll
point
see.
about
That's a
Jane
different
Fonda.
person. Different person altogether. Can't.
Yet
can't
a lot. I
recommend
know a lot
him.
of people watch
Yeah.
Jane Fonda. I
Yeah.
don't. I think she's.
I
have no problem. I mean, she is
I
who she is.
pretty much won't listen to anything by the Beatles.
Well, the thing about Jane Fonda is, yeah, she was wrong for what she did, but she has apologized and apologized and apologized multiple times for it. So it's, to me, it's like it's okay.
And she's
I've
great
I've
in
seen-
Frankie
I've
and
seen-
Johnny.
I-
Have you?
I've seen actually.
Frankie and
I've heard
Frankie and Chachi, Frankie and Joan, Frankie and
Frankie and
Stella.
Joan.
John
Frankie
brings
and
up
Johnny.
Cher. I
Joan
don't
and
watch
Frankie.
Cher just because she's a terrible actress. But
If you haven't watched Frankie and Joni, check it
No,
out.
I was
Love
saying
it.
about Jane Fonda. Even some of the prisoners of war have forgiven her.
yeah,
So who am I? Who am I to sit there and say?
Mhm.
But no, I was trying to think. I go because of their political beliefs. I'm not going. I don't think there's anybody. I go. I might not like them as a person. but
Well,
if
we
they're a
did
good
talk
actor or
about a
actress,
certain
they're
director for his actions, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Polanski. Yeah,
yeah.
Jack, you muted. I don't know how you got
Jack
muted,
mute.
but yeah.
It's weird. I think he took out his earbuds and he's just going rogue
Yeah.
now. He's turned
He-
mega.
he had grumpy man, old man face there.
That was Grumpy McFace.
Yeah,
You
he
know what
totally
it
had
reminded me of? It reminded me of the face of Omicron.
I just think it's so big.
Oh,
That's
now,
what she said.
now your mic's all messed up.
My screen. Am I all messed up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, God damn it.
you're
God.
connected to the wrong microphone.
Hi guys, I just wanted to say that next week we're going against the Colts.
Okay, moving to the next one.
No, but anyway, am I back?
You're
Yeah,
back.
You're good now. Yeah.
We're on to Philadelphia.
No,
Get back.
you guys were talking about Roman Polanski. That's different. I'm talking about their political. Okay.
Okay,
since I
yeah,
vote-
yeah,
I-
no.
they vote
I-
Republican or Democrat.
No,
I mean, I was God, you're limited. You're just limiting yourself to. So you're only going to watch a movie like people were saying. They won't watch Frasier or Cheers because of Kelsey Grammer. I go,
Wow.
really?
Why?
They're
Because
No,
of
I
his
don't
cocaine?
even know what his
I
political.
don't even know.
Is it like an
Exactly. I don't either.
cocaine thing?
He's a Republican.
Okay, but the only thing I know of Kelsey Grammer is
Look,
that he was high
he-
on cocaine.
Yeah.
And
Look,
is
look.
that like a running thing with like Republican
Without-
actors? Like, because I know also the other guy, Alan.
Without
Allen
Kelsey
is
Grammer,
also
the
had a
mutant
Allen just
identification
sold it.
law would have passed,
True.
and all of the mutants would have had to give up their identity to the government. So
Truth.
Preach it.
It's true.
right,
Anyway, I just
See,
thought
so what
I
you're
thought it was-
saying is he's actually a libertarian.
exactly.
You and your fucking libertarian ideas, you just got
some people who are saying that we'll never watch another movie with what's her name? She's in League of Her, not League of Their Own. She's in Bull Durham. She's in
Oh, Sharon.
Sharon
Susan
Susan
Sarandon.
Sarandon. That's it.
Sarandon.
Susan-
They
it's
said,
an S.
I won't watch Susan Sarandon because she voted for the Green Party candidate instead of Hillary.
Oh, good God.
I said, "Come on,
It's her
really?"
vote. No.
I go, "Really?" Because what's her name? The girl from what's the girl from?
I have never hold on a second. I have never heard of anyone saying that. Like,
Yeah.
This is like my brother when I talk to him and he says
it's
like,
a Twitter. It was
"Hey,
a Twitter
are
all
they
weekend.
canceling this now?" And I'm like, "No one's canceling that. Shut the fuck up."
Wait till I start the cancel mash because I show the pilot.
Oh,
What
Let
we're
me
really
tell you.
talking about selling a black
Matt,
guy.
by the way, kudos to your
Named
comment.
Spear
If you
Chucker?
hadn't said it with the mash image that Jack posted with the arm dangling, if you hadn't said that, I was about to say it. So,
oh,
like,
okay. I felt like I was out on a limb. I
No.
was like, nobody's gonna get this because I'm just.
Well,
gonna
I don't
be
know,
a
limb, arm,
Yeah, like,
name.
yeah.
I don't know.
I got it. Jack got it, and I think one other person got it. You know.
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
Facebook thing.
Jack-
you weren't
Jack-
there. It's
Jack
like old
posted a
school
photo.
TikTok.
Jack posted a photo of the opening credits of MASH on the
There's a guy.
helicopter
There's
flying
a soul.
in. There's a solder on the little,
With his
you know,
arm dangling. I'm like,
dangling.
really? They would have that soldier with his arm dangling out like that? That because usually they strap him in and they strap him in so they can't move. This guy's arm is like hanging over the side. I watched MASH a billion
And I
times. I
said,
never saw that.
because it's painless.
And in fact, I'm watching Stripes again. And you know when they walk, have everyone here seen Stripes?
Yeah.
Only
been
the
a
stars,
long
but
time.
go ahead.
Okay, when they walk into the
Lighten up,
wrestling scene,
Francis.
yeah, when they walk in the wrestling, the wrestling scene, picture
Yeah.
of Gary Templeton. Who's the other guy? But yet there's I'd never noticed there's a Charger poster of Dan
Oh,
Fouts
God.
on the.
Oh,
I go, I never saw that before,
wow.
ever.
Yeah, that's a. I think Nick's
I don't care.
Nick's
Hold
sign
on a second.
language
Hold on a second.
summed it up.
San Diego Charger
Uh-huh.
Dan Fouts, not the fuckers up in L.A.
I'm still thinking about what Nick signed to everyone that is
Yep.
universal,
Only you
and
saw
it's
it.
not the bird. So
No,
take of it what you will, listeners at
Is
home.
that what he did?
it
Maybe
was way worse than that.
he was throwing dice,
I finished,
but they
off.
weren't dice.
Yeah.
Sherry's right, but I just thought it was an interesting topic that was being talked about.
Sherry says in the chat, Jack, these are the types of people that say,
I think she
Just
was shouting.
leave
at
She's
America.
100% right.
and if such and such becomes president, and then they'll all still hear, and you hear about it from both sides of the aisle. Sorry, Sherry, I'm just embellishing because I'm drunk.
Alec Baldwin has said it, and now he really wants
One
to leave
beer,
the
huh?
country.
Really?
And
One
now Alec
beer.
Baldwin really wants to leave the country.
And an edible.
Well, my fifth.
And an edible and a beer.
Oh,
So
okay.
I pre-gamed, guys. I pre-gamed.
You pre-gamed. Nice.
Is that why you were being Charlie Chapman while we were talking about Ghostbusters?
No, I just had nothing else better to do.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, it wasn't as long as that stupid
Beetle talk.
Beatles talk. Jeez,
There's no such
Beetle
thing
talk
as
was
stupid
awesome.
Beetle talk.
Chris
Seriously?
almost passed out from boredom.
Nick and I could probably have a whole other podcast
We
where
could.
we
We
just
could.
yeah we could, and we'll just release it on the
Dude,
Star
man.
Wars podcast.
Is that still on?
Maybe.
Is that still a thing?
It
Is
was
that
done
still
a
a
Definitely.
thing?
don't
while,
know.
yeah. Well, we got. Mitch said earlier when someone mentioned Mandalorian, we got Book of Boba coming back.
Book of Boba,
Yeah.
December
December.
28th.
I can't tell you how much I'm not fucking excited for that
A-
show.
You know, the aliens in the one scene of the trailer still give me the like pause. It's like,
Yeah.
is Yoko in the room?
She's
Okay, okay,
her-
Jack.
her-
to your point, and I'm
it's
just
her
going to bring it
defense
back to this one thing because I know we were done talking about the Beatles. But you were like, "Oh, Yoko's weird being there," but what about the like the Hare Krishna that's just hanging out there for no reason, just
then they
like
multiply.
stalking George?
Someone had to sell the incense.
I just
Hare
thought there was two at one
Krishna,
point.
Krishna Hare.
There's two of them.
I
At one
don't
point.
remember seeing that part.
You don't see them at Abbey Road though. They got kicked out.
We used to harass the Hare Krishnas in San Diego, but
Well,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
funny,
an ongoing joke.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a
no,
long-
we
An
used to go to
airplane.
we used to go to where
And-
their
and the
temple
Muppet
was.
movie.
We
Yeah.
used to go where their temple was, and we used to go repent.
The
Anyway,
the
and then
late
drive- as
70s
they
was
came
a-
running
was a-
after us, we drive away really fast.
was a good time to joke about the Hare
See,
Krishna.
like, and you wonder why you're kicked off of things like Twitter, Jack. That's like, that's like a
hold on a second.
hate crime.
Hold on a
dude.
second. You're not my wife. You're not. She goes, and you wonder why we have bad karma.
Dude, it's like a fucking hate crime.
Hate crime? They were annoying.
You just said we used to go to their temple and tell them.
I'm glad one of us is paying attention to this.
We were just expressing an opinion.
Jack,
I'm
I would keep that one close to the chest and probably not repeat it loudly.
Yeah, that's not getting released on the Get Back sessions, man.
That was, the few times I've flown into LAX, that would always crack me up is how you'd always, it's just like airplane. They would be there waiting for you. And you're like, hey. And they're like, hi. Like, and they were like, ask you for any money you had. And you're like,
we were young high school.
They give you
we were high school students, just looking for a good time, just having fun.
So
it's like when we went to, I think I told the story before. We went to Pacific Beach. And these guys parked illegally. I said, "Hey, you can't park. You can't park there. Fuck off, dickhead."
Wow.
I go,
call that.
Okay. Then the cops pulled up. I said, "They go, is this your car?" I go, "No, but the guys that parked here said, fuck the cops. Cops are assholes. Cops should be shot." All that. He goes, "Are you fucking kidding?" I go, "No, I told him it was bullshit." And then they gave him a ticket and ended up towing the car.
Yeah,
that's another example of why Jack is loved around the world.
Don't tell me to fuck off. That's what I'm saying. You want me on your side. You need me on that side.
You need me on that wall.
Oh yeah. Am I the only one that agrees with him there?
No, he was right.
He was right. I mean, what he did was wrong, but what he was saying was right.
Yeah.
By the way, they're talking about Jack Nicholson's character, and not like anybody recently that's been ever in the news. So I'll just put that out there. Hey, real quick. How was your guys' Thanksgiving? We've talked about all of these other things, but like, how was your Thanksgiving?
You always say to your wife, "Look, it'll be real quick."
I had a 2-day-old Subway sandwich.
Oh,
I made a fried turkey, and I don't know if it's because we thought we had COVID, because I don't have any taste buds right now.
Yeah, you definitely have.
And my sense of smell.
That's the COVID, man. That's
been
the
sick for like 2 weeks.
Got it.
But
it's probably that Disneyland shit, man.
Is that why your face has been funny all night? Like only half of it's working?
Exactly.
Thought it was the moon behind you, but
I made a fried turkey, and usually I'm
Chris gave me a
fried
gummy.
turkey. We didn't get the butterball. We got what the guy recommended, the turkey from the White House. And make your own jokes.
They pardoned the turkeys at the White House.
2.
Well,
yeah.
Isn't that kind of weird that there's always 2 turkeys? There's always 2 turkeys. They have one to pardon, but they have a backup just in case the first one dies. But they still pardon the backup.
It's like what Beck always said: 2 turkeys and a microphone.
That's where it's at.
That's how.
Anyway,
that's how
I fried this turkey.
But he was a loser.
It didn't taste. I mean, it was an expensive turkey. It was like double the price it would have been for a butterball.
Oh,
and we almost went with the butterball, and I go, no, this guy really sold this turkey.
Yeah.
And it to me was like, it was okay. It was like, I was a little disappointed because the oil's like $40, the turkey was like $45, and all the stuff I had put into it, I'm like going,
I want to hear about Chris's turkey. Did you use like weed or something too?
No, I ate a lot of turkey after I had the weed.
Did you ever eat a turkey
on weed? No, I did not. But funny enough, so we're at my
it better be funny.
My wife's family's who they're in New Haven, Connecticut.
House.
Yeah, my mother-in-law's cousin.
House.
They lives. Yep. Yep, that's where they live, in a house.
First cousin, second. What are we talking about?
Maybe. Anyway, so we went to New Haven, Connecticut for.
So far, this story is hilarious.
Yeah, because you haven't fucking let me get 3 syllables in without interrupting.
Well, wait, man.
We had dinner, and at the end, my mother-in-law's cousin put a bottle of gummies in the center of the table as part of dessert.
Whoa!
Like,
and I was like
regular.
So your whole family's
a
bunch of stoners.
And I'm sitting there. I'm just like, I know what those are. She's like, yeah, whatever, go for it. I'm like, okay. So all of my my in-laws all got high, It was
Nice.
hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, here I was being a
And,
sarcastic
and
asshole.
to be fair, I actually did not. I didn't have one. I said because I had my family. I had to drive them to and from a
Because
hotel.
you already had some before you got
that's,
there.
that's good of you.
No, I did not
So
have
you were
any
the
until I
you were
got
the
back to the
you
hotel.
were the designated driver, so you couldn't get a
I
ride.
could not have done
Yeah.
that. I would have been like, babe, you got this.
But it's just really interesting to see the kind of like the change and like the dynamic around people and weed now. It's interesting.
Oh, huh.
God, I stayed in a Econo Lodge the other night, and I
I
don't
would just
know.
mess with people.
Didn't
by,
you
like,
didn't you
playing
stay at the
music
place where
underneath
there's
the
6
chair.
guys or six people in the same room?
I like hostels. I like hostels.
Hostel, that's what it's called. Yeah.
I camped the majority of my trip last week, but as I was getting more into Colorado, you're getting in the mountains, you know. So I was like, it's too fucking cold, and because it's like 18 degrees at night. And so I stayed in Econo Lodge, and when I opened up my door, it was the most potent smell of marijuana I've ever smelled in my
In the
entire
room you were
life.
staying
In
in?
the room I was staying in, yeah.
Wow.
So
And I
Chris,
don't-
Chris,
I don't
who was
know-
there- Yes, Chris was there before.
Yeah,
That's a new kind of wake and bake, man.
I don't know if it was someone that had literally just brought in like 500 pounds in that room the night
Yeah.
before, or if it was someone around the heating, or like maybe they were growing it in the basement of the Econo
The
Lodge. or
weed is
what.
baked
But
into
it was
the place,
just,
man.
it was like, it's one of those things that didn't matter. Like I went out to eat, I went to the truck many times.
Well,
I would come
Colorado
back
legal,
in, and it's
right?
just like, whoa. Like every
Have
time.
you ever gone to a Mexican restaurant and then you get back and you're like, whoa, I still like kind of smell it on me? Right? Like I'm just
Why's it gotta be
imagining.
Mexican, Matt?
Well, yeah, what's that Mexican, Matt? Come on, Matt. Come on.
There's
It's
onions
It's
involved?
2021, Matt. Come on.
It
We're all
could have
one.
been any.
Yeah.
No,
We're all
it
one.
could
It could
We're
have
all
been an
one
In-N-Out
people.
burger. It could,
Yeah, but no, you had to make it Mexican.
Yeah.
You ever been to those
Weird.
Mexican restaurants where you smell like crap when you come back?
I didn't say that it smelled like crap.
I mean, you pretty
said
much
that it-
did.
It sounded like crap to me.
I was
It looks
implying.
like it going in as it does coming out.
I did not see, check the tapes. You
God
guys
damn.
are implying that there was
Beans
a
were all
negative
over me.
connotation.
Oh,
And,
man.
and, and,
It's-
and you can't play dumb like you don't know the differences because you worked at Taco Bell.
You got me on that one. You got me on that one.
He had flashbacks when he walked. Here you go to the Mexican restaurants and Taco Bell. Yeah,
Okay.
see, now you pissed off John, the UPS guy.
I know
man.
we lost a live.
You're gonna
We
get
only
some
have-
suspicious
only-
packages soon.
We only
Yeah.
have so many listeners. Jesus, Matt.
I thought he was retired, but
Not yet.
Hey, once you're in the service, you're always in the
just
service.
because he's retired doesn't mean he's no longer Mexican.
I thought he moved up.
I wish
when he
that was
retired.
the show title.
Oh my gosh.
Too long.
Being Mexican wasn't his job.
Speaking of
Matt,
the,
I really didn't know because this country is like 50%. I'm just ashamed of you, Matt.
what?
I don't know. You know what?
No.
I don't know, but your political beliefs, I can keep doing this podcast. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I
was
can watch
just trying
Narcos
to, I was
anymore. 'cause
trying to
know
make
how
a
you-
connection with Nick
I don't
here.
know. I know how you feel about Mexicans now. I don't know if I can watch Narcos anymore. Jeez, man.
What?
They're
That should
Colombians.
not. It was. I didn't even express any opinion about it. It was just about.
You said
restaurant.
they stink. You said they stink.
No. I never said that. I just said that
So
when
they
you
smell
go.
like weed.
Yeah. You accused them of smelling like weed.
Yeah.
Dude, if I could go into my Mexican restaurant and smell like weed, and
You
get
have a
weed-
Mexican restaurant?
You own one?
Wow.
No, I meant like in my neighborhood, like just the
Oh.
neighborhood.
Who are the Mexicans in your neighborhood?
That's
In
a
your
different kind of
neighborhood.
story. I
In
don't
your
think that's
neighborhood.
appropriate anymore.
up, so Mexican.
By the way, I just want to like pass out gold stars to all of us, like because when we did do the bonus,
Oh, whoa,
episode,
whoa! I don't want any gold stars from you.
Yeah,
because
dude,
I don't-
what's your fucking deal, man?
I don't
No, like,
want to be associated.
when we did the bonus
I
episode,
don't know you, man. I don't know who you are.
we just immediately like picked up on something and started like telling Jay he couldn't say that anymore on the show, and we all agreed unanimously. We
What
just
was
kind
it?
of
What was it?
Innocently,
Unanimously.
Yeah, God.
What was the thing we
Fuck
told him he
you,
couldn't
okay?
say
I had
anymore?
one beer.
What? Wait,
don't remember.
you're telling Jay he can't
I do
say
remember
that,
the
but
moment.
you said
I
what
don't
you
remember
said?
what he said.
I do too, but what was the phrase that we told him he couldn't say?
It was something simple.
It was like walk the dog or some shit.
It was something so basic. Oh, geez. Well, another reason why you should become a patron, listen to our
Yes.
patron show.
Should do that.
Maybe we should go listen to it.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should end this podcast before one of us says something more that
We
he
should
would
probably throw in another
forget.
break.
It's gonna be you. You got at least another 2.5 minutes, so
Yeah.
I'm just waiting.
Well,
We should probably throw another commercial break though.
oh yes, we should. Total commercial break time.
Yeah,
I
and then we
hope
can hear the
it's-
names.
I
that
hope
you
it's
messed
not a
him up.
Mexican restaurant commercial.
Seriously, holy Christ!
My name.
It's Jose Jimenez.
I said one thing. Well,
Welcome back to Crossfire.
the
We
third
got Matt-
hour
We
of
got Matt on the
episode
That's
racist side.
overtly racist podcast.
it was not. It was. Please, someone write in and send the
Defend
email to rcadcast@gmail.com.
You know, the only one can defend you is Trump.
No wonder you like it. No wonder you like
Ironic,
it back
isn't
so
it?
much.
He's gonna
Ironic.
build a wall in Indiana.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm going to be invited down.
We're gonna
just
build
to
a
kind
wall
of, like,
around
have
Matt's
a-
house. Matt's house. Hey, we're building a wall, so you don't have to deal with that restaurant anymore.
He's good. He's a good
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
Worst moldy
you want a
I've ever
wall?
had,
I want a
ever.
wall. We're not going to that restaurant ever again. I do like their chips though.
Chips are pretty good. So
Chips are pretty good.
So,
like, you go for. The
I do
chips
like
are
carne
good.
asada.
so
That's
I,
good.
I hope the names you've come up with this week are fantastic.
Oh
It's the-
yeah,
it's the only,
sure.
It's the only way you
sure.
can save yourself.
Yeah. So they have a theme, and maybe
prefabbed?
Are they Mexican?
they're prefab. They are prefab.
Fucking prefab again.
It's
tunnels
either
and-
that or I'm distracted half the time and sitting out while you guys talk Ghostbusters. So they are not Ghostbusters.
Oh,
themed.
dude, get over the
Greg,
Ghostbusters.
Greg
bit.
Greg the Gringo.
The reason why
Wow.
the
Wow.
reason why we're finishing at 11.
Seriously, that is not me. You know,
Beatles.
Jeez.
Greg the Greek.
Gonna lock you up, man. All right. If you want to write in and complain to any of us or compliment us on what a
Ed
great
Huevos
job we did talking
Rancheros.
about. So yeah, what did you guys do for Thanksgiving?
John,
Hey, did you,
still Mexican. UPS.
hey, did you see that nacho fight at
Nacho
trying to stay
fight.
on topic here. It was a nacho fight on Thanksgiving Day at the what's the Dallas state AT&T Stadium. I don't know what happened, but the concession worker must have had nachos thrown back at her. She jumps over, slips on the nacho cheese,
Ooh.
and then she gets up and they're just wailing on each other. And then a third girl comes in, they're just beating the shit out of each other. I'm like going, all this over nachos.
I had
And
a
I'm
different
sure
image
she
in my
probably had
head.
nacho smell going home. But
I
Well,
thought
you know
meant
it wasn't
literally
just
a
over
nacho
nachos,
fight,
right?
Like just
It
like
was-
chips flying everywhere and cheese and shit. Which
At some point, one of them uttered, "That's not your man."
exactly. Nachos.
nacho,
Okay.
nacho,
All right.
nacho,
Let's-
man.
Matt
Chris
has
is like
A
Chris is like the
nacho
Paul
man.
Let's
McCartney
fucking
of this
go.
group.
Nacho,
He is
nacho,
very much like,
man.
"Hey,
I've gotta be a nacho.
hey, Jack / John Lennon, stop
did
riffing."
wait, hold on a second. I did learn on TikTok that we're doing YMCA wrong. It's Y, and the M is like this,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I always did down.
Yeah,
So,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure now
No,
Jack is the
it's like
John Lennon of the group. Chris is the Paul McCartney. Nick, you're the George.
Oh, you
and
gonna be
clearly
McCartney?
I'm Ringo.
I'll take that.
I'll be Ringo. So
I'll be John Lennon. He made some money.
Ringo is
Yeah, but you know what?
clearly
We're
the
still
Are you,
alive.
like
are you
the
telling me I need to
in-between
get a
guy.
bulletproof vest?
That was a
No.
head.
Too soon? Too soon?
No,
You get shot in the head.
it's way too.
Did he get shot in the head?
You got
Was it a
shot.
headshot?
Got shot in the
Yeah.
chest.
Mhm.
I thought it was seven
Chest,
times.
no.
He got shot 7 times.
No, not 7
Three.
times.
I think it's
Was
like
it
2 or
3?
3.
Yeah.
Well, the guy shot. He shot 7 shots, right?
He's a 6
Well, when
shooter.
are we gonna end it on a downer? Okay, we were talking about like fun stuff.
Well, I'm trying to
and
get it
you're
off
like,
the whole racist thing because I don't want to get banned.
I was not the one. I was talking about.
6-shooter.
We were
Get
talking about
Tack.
Nick's.
Get Tack was the first name. I saw it. Let's move the fuck on.
I like it.
Buenas noches.
Get Tack to where you once belonged.
Buenas noches.
He came in through the Richter window.
That just sounds
You're
funny.
you're so sad about these patron names. You're
Prefab, not happy.
But they are fab.
It's Prefab 5. Dumb.
Don't
Don't
edit me
edit me
down.
down. No.
Don't edit me down.
Yeah, see, Nick gets it. See, we had a theme going. He did 2 of us, and I'm doing this.
He did 2 of us. Who did Nick
Yeah.
do?
Well, you came in late, but he was.
Well,
doing
good.
the song,
Then
doing
I
all
didn't
of
have
us.
to get nicked.
Dirty.
Oh,
Maggie
dirty
May.
Maggie May. That's actually perfect. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
For Maggie.
Okay, this one's a stretch. It was a bit of a hard one here, but
One after Joanne. Yeah. Too many syllables. One after Joanne 09.
all right, those are our patrons for this week. If you
Wow,
want to become
I
a
don't think you
patron,
redeemed
go over to
yourself from your racist
jandjack.com.
Like they didn't even look good. Like you know, sometimes he does like the artwork that
It's
just
true.
Yeah.
He does. Makes them
looks bright,
Makes them
like-
snappy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
They're all brown,
and you get like
okay?
you get emotion that comes from.
Whoa, Matt!
It's Let It
Jesus
Be. Let It Be is
Christ.
the Brown album.
It's a shit album.
Wow.
It's
Wow, Matt.
It's the Brown album.
Oh my God,
Let It
Matt.
Be. They're
Oh my
Let
God.
It Be themed.
Can someone apologize for Matt?
I
now?
mean, I did say he's got 2.5 minutes, and he's gonna.
I'm not. I didn't say that. I was saying that the letters are just brown. That's it. I didn't do anything flashy, just
Whoa.
like the Beatles. Okay,
Whoa.
it was
Fuck
just
you.
simple.
Jesus, superpower! Like, what is your? Do you have a kryptonite? I'm curious. Like
I
it's
didn't
like your
say
superpowers
anything.
are boundless.
I
This
just
is
was trying to
incredible.
end the show after having a beer.
Well, you've ended this whole podcast because we're done.
You just got Ramble canceled after dark.
Well, we made it to 150, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
think
Sorry.
that has to be the title of the episode.
Cancel Matt.
No,
Cancel
Ramble
After Dark.
Cancel After
No,
Dark.
John
right?
said you
Cancel after
said
dark.
cancel Matt.
No, it doesn't have to be me, John. Okay, it's not.
Well,
all-
who else does it have to be? I
it's
didn't
all
say
of
anything.
us. It's
I didn't say
it's
anything.
all of you guys. I just said something, and then you guys run with it with stupid stuff.
Run with it.
If you enjoy what we do,
Well, you
and
don't want
why
people
would
running?
you? Because we clearly we start off strong and then we end really weird.
Well,
But if you
it's not-
enjoy
I'm not
it-
in charge of doing the names.
Go over to jandjack.com, click on the patron link, become a patron member, or just subscribe and rate and review us on iTunes. We would
I
appreciate
can't wait to see
that.
the reviews now.
This is the part of the show where we end it officially. Thank you for joining us live. You can always follow us on YouTube. We are Ramblecast After Dark. Follow us on YouTube. We're at that magical. We're close to that magical 100 mark. So if you could follow us on YouTube, we would really
Oh,
appreciate
okay.
that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
remember
that
when
would-
we started this like just a couple of weeks? You know, like hey, we'll do them live on YouTube.
yeah, and we've been doing
We did
them
it for
live
we did it for the pandemic, but now the pandemic's coming back, right?
ever since.
Just
And
gonna
we
keep
never
going.
even got to talk about Omnicrom. Why did they name it after a
one of
transformer?
my,
Like,
yeah,
what the
dude, one of my
fuck?
employees is like, why the fuck they give him the name of the final boss?
Yeah, like seriously, like how
That's
intimidating.
the funniest thing I've heard. You get a raise. That was funny.
Yeah.
Do you think that like when they were planning this name, they were like, we need to come up with something really fucking scary that the millennials are gonna like really, and
That'll
Gen
get
X,
them
you know?
take their shots.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's get it really scary. Like next it's gonna be
Oh my
like
God.
Death Rattle.
I'm like going, okay, we got to get another vaccine. Come on, man.
Well, they're saying that this vaccine will protect you from dying from it,
That's
but
what
you
dying
would
from it,
still
okay, that's
you
good.
would still
I
most
don't
likely get
want it though.
Right? Yeah, no, none of us.
Listen,
wants
I think
it, but we're
Pfizer
not
said it's going to
die
be
from
100
it.
days before they can develop another one.
Transformers.
She's
more
gonna,
than
she's
more
gonna
than
keep
the
going
eyes.
and going and
I
going.
haven't even got my
Nothing
booster yet.
outlasts the coronavirus.
Except stupidity. That seems to be the one thing that can't outlast COVID, right?
I was watching a comedian on TikTok. He goes, okay, who out there has not been vaccinated? Raise your hand. He goes, okay. And then he goes,
Slap
all right,
yourself with a
slap yourself
fucking
in the face. Boom!
It's pretty good. The
You
British
saw
guy?
it too?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Well, on that note, thank you for joining us live as you do every week on YouTube. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. And this was a great show.
Oh, okay. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
It was 1 in a million.